GM, we do a little fam. Our season 3 mint is live, and we need your support more than ever to keep the IRL podcast vibes going. We have a $5 based edition minting through Zora's platform on the base chain. Each $5 based edition allows you to burn one for an art piece based off the conversations we've had with our guests. 12 base editions are needed to collect a full set of art. We also have 15 premium editions priced at 1 ETH each. Each premium NFT owner is invited to one of our We Do a Little dinners. The next dinner will be at Art Basel Miami in December 2023, and NFT LA and NFT NYC in early 2024. Premium owners also receive all 12 art claims via airdrop and all future base NFTs. Links to mint both the base and premium editions, as well as an article explaining all of our plans for Season 3 are in the show notes below. And without further ado, let's dive into this week's episode. In our 5th episode of Season 3, we are joined by Zaid Kirdsey. Zaid is a legendary artist from Austin, Texas, known for creating vibrant, playful, and mischievous characters within his artwork. His artwork can be found on SuperRare, AOTM, and other major platforms. He's done crazy collabs with RTFKT and Nike and has some more interesting ones coming out soon, TM. As always, this podcast is for entertainment purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Andy, D's, and guests may own NFTs discussed.
This is Andy.
Yeah, I'm D's. GM, we're back with another episode of We Do a Little Pod. Last one of the week, and we saved maybe the best for last year with Zaid. Zaid's one of my favorite artists in the space, known for his crazy pieces, collaborations with RTFKT, Nike. I got a pair of his Air Force Ones. They're fucking sick. But Zaid,
thanks, man.
Thank you for coming here, man. We've been hanging out a bit at events, but we never got a time to truly sit down and chop it up for a long period of time.
Yeah, man.
And I'm fucking stoked to dive in.
Yeah,
we were kind of riffing before this on something that I already completely forgot about.
The Met.
What?
Wasn't he asking you how the Met was?
The Met. We're talking about the Met. So let's dive into the Met, and we'll dive into New York City and maybe some of the things you've been into. Met is incredibly fucking big. It's overwhelming. You need to spend more than a day there. We had 3 hours. We tried to speed run it. We went with Hulk, and Hulk is a New York native who's been to the Met a bunch.
Oh, okay.
So he drug us around and was like, you need to see this thing, this thing, this thing. Like George Washington crossing the Delaware River is one of the top 3 things in the Met. And it's just massive painting that's to that table, to the wall, from the floor, to the ceiling, in a fucking gold frame. And it's just this is how America was born. You don't feel more patriotic in anywhere in the world than being in that room in front of that picture. I took a bunch of pictures of it. That was probably my highlight of the Met. And then the Sphinx and the old Egyptian stuff. So if you're into things that are 2,000 to 4,000 years old, they have entire Egyptian architecture transported into the Met. So you can walk next to these ancient Egyptian temples, see how it was set up. They have hieroglyphics everywhere, but it was crazy. Anyway, the Met. Have you been to any galleries? Did you go to the MoMA or not?
No, bro. I hate myself for not being to the MoMA yet, and this is my 3rd time in New York. The only museum that I've been to, and the 3 times, is the one with the bones. They have the dinosaur bones.
The Natural History Museum.
Yeah.
It's
that museum's sick. I love that museum.
Yeah, I had a great time, and because I went obviously to see the dinosaur bones and shit, so it was a vibe. But that's the only one, man.
We gotta take him. So we have a few people in the city who are always down to go to museums.
Yeah, bro. I want to go today if we can.
Wait, how long are you here for?
I'm here till tomorrow.
Tomorrow. You fly back tomorrow morning.
I gotta leave my Airbnb around I think 10 or 11 because I fly out at 1.
Ah, shit.
Yeah. So.
Tough to jam in a museum.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, my priority when I come to things like this is to link up with
people,
homies and whatnot. So,
what have been some of your favorite events this week?
Dude, the first day, the AOTM dinner.
The dinner.
Yeah, bro. It was amazing because I knew I knew all the other artists were gonna be there, but once you sit there with them and you're in the room when everybody's there, and you're Sam Spratt's there, Ness is there, you know, like just juggernauts, and you're just like sitting there, and then like someone, for me, it's like it was kind of overwhelming in a bit, but it was at the same time I was like, man, I'm supposed to be here, like, you know. So it was a great time. Shout out to VVD, Georgia, Pablo for Giga Chad for putting it together, man. It was everybody was fucking chill, man.
Are you inspired after that?
Yeah, bro, I'm fucking ready to get back and like crank some workout.
Have you done any work while you're here? I know you.
Hell no.
No.
Just chilling, bro. And like, cause I know like this week is like a kind of like a vacation, and then after this, like it's back to like grind mode. I'm probably gonna stop smoking again, stop drinking.
You do really well about going through cycles.
Yeah, I have a weird relationship with weed. Alcohol is not a big deal because I'm not like a big drinker to begin with, anyways. But with weed, yeah, it's if I really want to get like work done, I gotta stop. But yeah, man, that dinner was probably like my favorite one. The fake rare gallery is a vibe too.
Seen the physicals.
Yeah, have you been there?
I've only seen pictures. We literally have spent 80% of the week here doing the pods, and then it's like the other 20% in dinners. Like I jammed in the Met because it just felt right. Like I was looking at my list of stuff to do, and I was just like, I could go to any of these events, but like I don't think any of it is gonna have the same impact on me that like going to the Met would have.
Yeah, especially if you're with friends and stuff.
Yeah, we had friends just hanging out. Shout out Elric. We were just like, let's fucking go to the Met, and I don't regret it at all. But I feel like I wish we could do more during the week. Like we do all the pods because everyone's here. Like you're always in Texas.
Yeah.
I'm never seeing you really outside of an event, and that's how a lot of our guests have been. We have guests from Australia. It's like their first time in America. It's like, okay, I gotta spend the time on the pod. Like, can't do the things.
Crazy because this is only our second time seeing each other, right?
Is it
not
third?
Second time? Like I know we seen each other, like I'm saying, like
pocket in time.
Yeah, because the first one was the first NFT NYC, right? When it was like in November.
It was like November 2021.
Yeah, and that's the first time I met you,
and then we haven't hung out at anything else.
No, because we always like I've never go to the Denver one or the LA one,
Miami.
Miami. I haven't been to.
You gotta come to Miami.
I know, I want to, bro.
Huh? Can we talk you into it?
I mean, it's scheduling, bro. Really, it's like it's so weird because like all these things are happening for me right now, and I'm about to be real busy. So we'll see.
So how has the last year been? Like zooming out a little bit, you to set some context, you mainly in my eye have been working on one piece called Friends,
right,
for thousands of hours at this point, literally.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, you've been a little quiet. You've done some editions, some collabs here and there, but like, how has the last year been for you? Like, have you been doing things on the side that we're not seeing? Like, you just kind of alluded to.
Yeah. And then sometimes I'm working on my piece for Art of This Millennium Gallery, and man, again, shout out to that team because they're so patient with me. Like, I was like, when VVD like onboarded me, I was like, bro, like, you're probably not gonna see a piece from me like for a long time. And he was like, bro, don't even worry about it. Like, it's cool. Like, whenever you know.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, man, I'm working on that on the side, kind of like chill. And I brought my iPad so I can show you everything that I'm working on. But yeah, I'm working slowly on that every now and then. And then I just keep like these collabs that I just happen, like just keep happening or have happened throughout the year. And just been taking advantage of them because they're teams, projects within Web3 that like I align myself with, like vision wise. Like, I mean, floor price aside with the Clonex and all that shit, like all these projects kind of cater to like clones and like the 3D avatars and stuff. And I have a big of my supporter branch system is clones. Like, they fuck with my shit. So it's like it's a good way for me to provide artwork for the clones and at a really affordable like price and still make it dope as fuck. I at least I think
yeah, like, you've had like, I feel like we got to go back a little bit more because I know Zaid pretty well, and then I'm starting to realize like maybe Andy doesn't have the same context or the people listening don't have the same context. So like, let's just start with like the first piece you put on SuperRare or the first NFTs you put out? Like, go from there, or I don't know.
I think it was so. It was like 2020. Man, I can't. I'm really bad with years.
So I
think
it a little like this.
Was like
early 2021.
Yes,
you put a piece out on SuperRare called Faces.
Right.
And that caught my attention because it was this very vibrant, poppy, yet like sharp and clean characters that are playful, mischievous, kind of gives you like a more grown up, I don't want to say like Pokemon vibe, but like some of the characters I looked at and I was fair, like, this is like a adult, more like fine rendition of like these more like playful characters that can fuck shit up. And like they all have their own ways to fuck shit up. And then it was just a bunch of faces.
Yeah.
And you're just immediately drawn in to like each personality of each different face. And like you're kind of lost in it for me. Like it's like you have to spend like 5 minutes and just look at it. And I'm like, wow, this artist really sticks out in a sea of everything we see. This has me looking at it for minutes. And then like, I think I followed you, but maybe I didn't reach out.
Yeah, I remember that whole interaction too.
I'm so awkward, dude. Like...
No, it was cool, man. And and the thing is, like, to be fair, like you kind of were already like a little. You were established by then, right? Somewhat. No, I mean, you talk your shit.
I had less than 5,000 followers.
But well, I don't know. Like,
I don't think that's true. At that
no,
point.
I think you had more than that,
when
bro.
We met? Is
like when you first reached out to me, I think you had more than.
This is crazy. Like you can look this up on fucking Social Blade Weesh and like show the graph of my followers because I've looked at it too many fucking times.
Okay.
Going into 2021, I had less than 2,000 followers.
Really?
And then when I started at Fractional, I only had like
10. No, you're right because I had more followers than you did at that point.
I only had like 10,000 followers.
Yeah.
So like from like January to July, I only went from like 1 or 2 to 10,000 followers. Like I was still like I had the punk, and that gave me a lot of reputability for people who mattered. But like I didn't have like an audience really. It was just like people who mattered talked to me, and like I had a good network because I was always online.
Yeah.
So I feel like I've met you around then.
Okay.
Or I looked at your work and was too scared to talk to you, maybe?
I don't know.
I'm always intimidated.
You're a scary guy.
Well, you put it out. It was just so good, and it sold for like a pretty respectable price.
Yeah. At the time, ETH was like 1200 something, which is I think it's higher than what it is now.
Yeah, it's like 2,100 now. It's crazy.
And I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is so much money because I sold it for like 15 ETH or 12 something right. It equal to like $15,000, and that was like to me like what? Like someone's like willing to pay this much for my work, and I mean in hindsight now I was like fuck, I sold it for like too little, but it's all good.
What was the most before that you had ever sold a piece of art for?
$1,000. I think 2,000 or anything, and it was like a hand drawn piece that took a long time, which like now looking back, that person messaged me actually, and they were like, dude, I still have it, and like I got a fucking steal because it's like a physical 1-to-1 hand drawn. It's the sleep paralysis one. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
What year did you make that?
I like 2017, 2018, I think. It was part of Inktober. So I was doing the challenge. You know how certain artists have for the whole month of October, they'll draw like one drawing a day and nothing but ink. Well, my thing was like, fuck that. I'm just going to do it all in one sheet. So I'm just going to keep adding to this sheet through the whole month. And kind of like what I'm doing with Faces, but just all ink. And man, it took me like actually, I went over October, and I was like, "Well, fuck, I'm just gonna keep."
I'm gonna make it better.
Yeah,
that's the theme throughout your work.
Yeah,
like, I've known you, and you'll tell me, "Oh, this piece is 50% done," and then I talk to him like a month later. He's like, "Yeah, this piece is like 20% done." And I'm like, "Wait,
bro." And when I show you later, you'll see why. Like, I'm not just like throwing those numbers out just to throw them out.
No, I know why.
Like, it's
so impressive. Like, I feel like we talk to a lot of artists, but there's very few who work on like the time scale. Like we talked to Jake Fried, and he's like one who I think reminds me of you, where he's doing it every day for a year, maybe sometimes over a year, and like seeing what happens.
Yeah,
but it's like there's not that many people putting all of that hour into something, and like the output definitely shows.
I think it's part of the nature of the beast of the space we're into, right? A lot of people might feel like they need to like be faster with the amount of work they put out, just to stay relevant or stay. I don't know, but
well, and they probably. I'm sure part of it too is you can make like if you know your stuff will sell.
Yeah,
it's like I don't blame you. It's like
yeah man, get your bag, man, and especially if it's like good work, like. I admire a lot.
Even though he was still like,
anyway. I admire a lot of artists like Grant, Tijo, like they're
prolific.
In my mind, they're fast with like, they can be fast and like they still put out like
really high quality
good work. Yeah. It's not like bullshit. So man, I if I could do it, I would, but I'm not fast like that, and my process is a little bit different. I really like, and I'm not saying they don't like, I don't know what they feel. So, but in my reality, it's like I gotta like spend time with the piece and like really like just surrender myself to it and take advantage of the technology and like, cause I mean, digital made it so easy to like undo, redo, rotate, and like, and it's a double-edged sword because it's gonna add time to your process and not, but then you get exactly what you're seeing in your mind on the canvas because you can fuck around with it. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think like how do you balance going back and redoing things like on a canvas? You're like, I used the paint, it's dry, it's there. If I go over it, it's not gonna look maybe how I want it to. Like in Procreate, you're like, okay, that's all gone. I'm gonna do it perfectly this time. Like, how do you balance perfection or perfectionism versus just like letting it exist as it is?
It's I don't know if I can put that into words. I just see it. I just like once I see it, all right, I like that, and then just like keep moving.
You do a good job at it, but
thank you. But some things I have like looked at and like I'm like, bro, I'm just gonna let that one live to show like the process of like how I grew. Even though like in my mind, like my OCD mind, like I want to go back and like change it, like some like little characters here and there. I'm like, nah, it's cool. Like it shows progression. So I'll let them live. Cause I have been nuking a bunch of characters in that piece recently.
That's what we've had conversations about how he's looked at some of the characters and been like, I don't want this one anymore.
Yeah, no.
I don't want that one anymore.
But I'm doing a lot of those to like the ones where I haven't like touched or color yet. Like a bunch of like there's just like outlines still from back in the day, like 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. And then I'm like, dude, that shit is whack. Like, I'm gonna delete you. And then just because it's this piece, it's really weird. Like I can see the growth, like me getting better as I work on it because it's so long. So it's like, man, yeah, you're already putting this much time. You like might as well like go back and make that one better because you're already here. So,
have you had any things that you've been like, you've gone back to them and like, oh, I don't want this anymore, deleted it, then you're like, no, actually, I do want it. Now that I take it out,
it hasn't happened yet.
No?
It hasn't happened yet.
Can see that.
Yeah,
I'm so fucking indecisive. I'm like,
yeah, it hasn't happened yet. Thankfully, because then I would be like, fuck, I gotta do it again. One time I lost 36 hours worth of work because I merged 2 layers that weren't supposed to be merged. So basically I took the color, like, you've fucked around with Procreate.
Yeah,
I don't know if you have.
A little bit here and there.
You know how you can toggle layers on and off?
Yeah.
Well, I toggled off one of my color layers. So all you can see was outline and some other shit. And then I accidentally merged the one that was invisible with another layer. And it just took away all the color that I had on that layer.
This just fucked everything up.
And then I was like fucking so pissed, bro. I wasn't even pissed. I was just like bummed out because I was like, dude, I have to do all this shit again.
Do you have like a big mental checklist of like things in the tool that you need to have toggled on or off?
Oh yeah, bro. I know exactly.
Like hyper paranoid about all the time. Because...
Yeah, and my lesson from that, my takeaway was like every time I'm about to merge a layer, I make sure to look at what layers I'm merging, make sure it's like visible or on or off. After that, I started backing my work like at least every other day.
So you have a save,
and then I'll save like the actual like a PNG, like a high quality image, just in case, like to have it as reference, like in case I do lose something, I got to go back and like do it again. Like, all right, this is the colors you had. So I go
I
back.
feel like it always takes like a disaster to then have the
Yeah,
process.
bro.
It's like always like I just lost 36
And
hours.
it was user error. Like it was on me, bro. So that's why I couldn't be like
these
too
tools are
mad,
so
but it
fucking
was
complex. Like as a new person to them, like I was so daunted by, Procreate looks very simple when you're just using it, but like when you go into the menus, you look at all the sliders, the different tools you can do, the different toggles, and then like you're watching YouTube videos for like 2 hours trying to learn how to do
You know
stuff.
what, bro? I can show you exactly how I work, and you'll be surprised at like the amount of tools I don't use.
Yeah.
It's all I use is really like just 3 brushes and opacity here and there, and alpha lock, which is like when you click alpha lock, you can only color whatever's on that layer. It's kind of like a mask, but
Gotcha.
I think it's a lot.
That's how you do the drag and drop colors because it's like on that layer.
Yeah. Oh, another little reference tool is you set your because I have all the outline in one layer, and you can set that layer to a reference mode. So anything underneath that, like you can drag and drop to like a section, and it'll just color that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's when your layer's on reference mode. But other than that, really, it's like really like I treat it a lot like a physical. That's why you'll like sometimes you'll see me like me actually like coloring like I'm doing a real like piece of paper, just because I think it kind of keeps me sane in a way and ground. Because the digital is cool, man, but it's like I do miss touching like paper, like, and then like if I mimic that same movement instead of just dragging and dropping the color, it's like it makes me feel like I'm still kind of like at least like working like traditional in a way. It's weird. But
no,
yeah.
you can always like, if you want, do it for like texture or weird stuff. Too,
Yeah.
with it. But it does feel weird when you're just like.
I feel like it's like cheating in a way. I mean,
that's what I feel like that when I'm using Procreate, because like I'll just make like some shape, perfect circles, and then I'm just like dragging perfect color into the perfect circle, and then I'm like taking the liquify tool and just blasting it so it looks like I fucking painted it or did something not perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't like I'm not someone who is like fine with my drawing. It's all like I just use the shape tool. It's like I think we talked to DeFaced and he talked about using shapes and stuff.
I love the way
he
uses shapes, man.
I'm much more like, let me stack some shapes like Legos and fuck them up rather than like doing the little.
He's somebody else that I met randomly too.
Yeah.
At the Adidas thing, which was like, oh fuck, dude. Like,
What was the Adidas thing?
I believe it was Farrell's Adidas reveal shoe or something. I don't know if it was like an official reveal or anything.
Yeah, I don't know if we can actually talk about this. Maybe I'll talk about it. I think we maybe can. We'll talk about it and then
we'll get confirmation.
I'll text
and we'll
you
cut it out, or
because this
but
isn't
I mean,
gonna
it
come
wasn't.
out till the
It was
summer.
like in the thing. Everybody was watching. So
We went on Monday, so
okay.
I don't know when
Oops.
the official thing was. Maybe it happened. It looked like it was gonna happen because he had all the gear and was showing it all off.
I mean, Farouk was fucking like rocking them, and he was like, "I'm the first one with them." Blah blah. blah.
So we were there, and I just wanted to put it on. Like the black and white jumper goes crazy,
Yeah.
but like I know, you have the Air Force Ones, and you love fashion. Like, when you talked about dream collabs too? Do you have any like?
Like
when you talked about upcoming collabs, I mean, can you have any alpha that you could drop there or no?
So, one is a pretty big esports organization.
One we know.
Yeah, everyone should know. The other one is, well, the other one is still in the works, so I don't.
Can't. Okay.
I had a meeting with them yesterday. Real chill guy.
Like in-person meeting?
Yeah, and I didn't know he was gonna be there, but he was, and like if you go through my tweets, you could probably figure it out. But it's such a chill guy, man.
That's awesome.
Such a chill guy, like down to earth, and yeah, man. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna do something. Because
I feel like the in real life stuff's a cheat code. If you're in real life and you talk to somebody, it's so much different than a Zoom call.
And that's another reason why I do these things. Like especially if I hadn't come to New York, we would have done that over like a Zoom call or whatever, right? And I just being in person and like you said, it just hits different, man. You make a real, not saying you can't make real connections online, but it's
definitely different.
It's a more, I don't know. Yeah, it's better.
Especially when you have the iPad.
Yeah, and I showed.
When you got that, you'll see it at some point, Andy. Like you're just like, whoa, like this is so much different than fucking Twitter, where I'm like zooming in on my phone and like.
Yeah, and he was really cool. But I got to show him he was going through friends and it was one of those vibes where like I respect him so much that I'm not like even like trying not to like fangirl over him, but I was like, and I didn't even like ask him for a picture or anything because I knew like he gets asked to take pictures with everybody and plus I've taken a picture with him before, so I was kind of trying to just be like cool and like be like, you know,
it's always better.
Yeah, and so it was a good time, and that's probably another one of my highlights of the trip, to be honest. But I think other than that, those are like the only two that I have for sure coming up.
Be on the lookout.
Yeah, to be on the lookout.
Shouldn't have put you on the spot like that.
Oh no, it's all good.
We're already saying stuff that like we might cut because the viewers.
I think as long as I don't say like the name.
Yeah, no,
like I'll be all right.
I know it, so I can't. I won't say it.
You can tell me afterwards.
Yeah, but
yeah, it's fine. But yeah, man, I don't have anything else other than that. I think I'm gonna start focusing a lot more on friends, unless like some other big something happens. But I like when it comes to like dream collabs, still like Stussy is like one of the like big ones that I want to do something with. Atmos, and I can save Supreme. I know I can. Nah, I just want to do something with them, just like a skateboarding deck or something.
That'd be sick.
Like, you know, just because, man, I love Supreme, but like some of the recent shit is just not it.
It just feels like it's just lacking. Like
they're just like, oh, we're
culture.
Supreme.
They don't.
People will buy it.
Yeah.
Like blah blah blah. Like here's this bullshit, and it's like, bro, like.
Yeah, I stopped buying Supreme a few years ago.
So I mostly buy like select pieces here and there. Mostly accessories.
Yeah. What's your favorite piece of clothing or accessory that you have now?
From Supreme? Or
no, total. Because I feel like you have a great collection of assorted statues and just like cool things.
When it comes to toy statues, probably my Murakami octopus. I don't even know exactly what it's called, but it's
the one with like the crazy eye.
Yeah, and it's like it's a big, heavy like vinyl one, and it's like got all these cool designs to the tentacles and stuff. Probably that one. When it comes to shoes, man, honestly, mine aren't even my favorite ones, to be honest. I would say my Cos 4s, just because of the story. Because I got lucky. That's like the last time I got lucky on a shoe drop.
Really?
Yeah, bro.
That's a good one to get lucky.
Yeah, I think like that sucked out all my fucking luck. When it
Did
came
you
to
win
like,
it on like the Nike app?
No, it was his website. It was a drawing on his web. You went to his website, you signed up, and like I signed up, and I was like, I'm not gonna get these, right? And I was even asking friends that aren't into like sneakers, like, hey, bro, like, can you do this for me? And,
having like my mom sign up.
Yeah, exactly. And like nobody of them hit except me. Like I actually was the one that
it was
hit.
meant to be.
Yeah, and I was like, fuck, all right, bet. And it's the all black ones. I think those are my favorite, just because like the rush I got from like fucking
it's
like yeah, like I got
on any of those. Like if you win a shoe like that, like that's like a rare mint. Like that's like fucking minting a rare like top 1%, top 0.1%.
And then you want to hear the funny shit about a sneakers app. The last time I hit was when I got the Cause for you. I was like, what the fuck?
I asked them because they were doing a low blazer.
It's like a low blazer.
Sakai?
Yes,
cause?
yes.
I almost wore them here. I busted these.
That would have been perfect with that.
They do. They do. But I asked him to enter it for me in this group chat, and he was like,
fucking won.
I won. And I was like, oh shit. Like, I lost. Just lost. You won.
Yeah.
And then he got upset to me.
Are you mostly a Jordans guy? Or
I'm a check guy. Yeah. Checks over stripes. I was hanging with the ops that night at Adidas, but I mean, I like shoes in general, but yeah, all my shit right now is pretty much Nikes, Jordan.
I need to get some New Balance.
I feel like everything I'm buying now is like New Balance, Asics.
Honestly, I need to fucking start fucking around with New Balances, especially for trips like these, like when you like do some walking. Because my feet are hurting with these.
Yeah, I look like I'm 90 years old, but
the comfort.
Yeah.
What's your favorite comfort pair of New Balance? Like what silhouette or what model?
Ooh,
for like walking around city.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I just got these the other day, but these are like really comfy.
What are the name? I feel like the names
I don't
on
even
them
know
are
what these
The
are.
names on New Balances, I'll be
it's like
honest.
the
They're all just, like,
9970S.
As much as of a sneakerhead I am, I'm not like really hip to the numbers when it comes to New
What's
Balance.
like
I don't even know. The 990s are always comfortable.
990s.
That's like the iconic like gray New Balance dad shoe.
Okay.
Like those are
the ones
they're
I see.
so
I think
comfortable.
everywhere.
I think like those are really nice. Trying fuck, I don't even know.
Did you get the salmon toed things yet?
Oh yeah, I got the so I bought the Brooklyn or no, I bought the Manhattan Kith Invisible Friend.
Oh, nice.
One of one. And so with that, you got like it's full fit, and they had the Kith salmon toe Asics.
Okay.
And they didn't have my size, and so I was like, that's a bummer. And the guy gets back to me like the next day, and he's like, so we found a pair. It's one of Ronnie's personal pair that he hasn't unboxed yet, but it's an 11, not a 10.5. Do you want it? And I was like, fuck yeah, I want it. Like
You're 10.5?
Yeah. And so I've worn those like once or twice, even though I feel like I should keep those dead stock, but I'm a big just wear them kind of guy.
I mean, for the story, to keep them dead stock or real clean. That was his pair. So
yeah, I only wear them here and there, but honestly, those aren't that comfy though. I don't know. They're okay. I have other Asics. I have like another pair of Kith Asics that are like the like gel Cayano, like more athletic-y, but like a little bit bulkier, and those are really, really comfortable. I like those a lot.
I started getting some Kith clothing thanks to Invisible Friends. I got way too much. I got like fucking 6
Yeah, you
jackets.
posted a fucking haul on Twitter.
Well, no, I bought the top and then I bag held them all the way down. And then I got my clothes. But people are like trading them for a healthy price. Like I didn't really think I'd be able to sell them on eBay. People in my DMs or people in the replies were like, I'll buy them off you. And I'm like, I'll just hold on to them for now, but thanks. I like the heavier shirts. I don't have a lot of them.
Yeah, I like the blanks.
But no, I don't like them in the summer. It's more of like a winter.
Yeah.
We're out and about.
What's your favorite like brand in general right now to buy clothes from?
Human Made.
Yeah, that stuff's nice.
Nigo's brand.
Yeah.
It's really high quality.
Yeah.
And the shipping, I don't know how they do it. DHL, man, for me, at least my personal experiences with fucking goats. Like,
yeah.
And it comes from Japan, I believe, and like it's there like in 2-3 days. Like it's crazy.
Dude,
it's
I feel like
they fucking got on the plane immediately.
Yeah.
I get that like whenever I buy stuff from like End as well, like it's always coming from England and it'll come like overnight.
Yeah,
like,
and it's pretty good about it too.
How did it get here so fast?
Yeah. So yeah,
I need to step up my clothing. I've just been all killer acid. Like I need more Zaid clothes. Like I need a hoodie.
So maybe with the other collab we were talking about, there might be some stuff
that
coming.
could be a vibe because
nice.
So
I mean, anything where I can rep my artists.
Yeah.
That I love, I'm trying to wear it.
Yeah, clothing's interesting. It's always like it's a lot of work, not a lot of profit. You kind of just got to do it for the love of it and like try to get like your work in a mobile, like just to have people like you that fuck with the work, like that want it, like just to do that. But other than that, it's a fucking pain in the
Yeah, no, I feel like it's mostly for building fans more than anything else. You know, like you have someone who likes your work and then they buy your clothes and they're just like more excited.
It's a good, affordable way to have a piece of art. Because, I mean, you know, if you do it right, quality, like nice graphic, nice screen print, like it's a cool thing to have, you know?
And like you get compliments all the time. Like people ask me about the Killer Acid stuff, like a lot. They don't give a fuck about NFT, but they're like, yo, who makes that? Like,
but it makes you feel good, right? When people compliment you on your stuff, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Like whenever I wear like certain jackets, like, and people come up to me, I like your jacket. I'm like, all right.
I meant you in a nice
I guess
jacket.
I'm doing something right. So
yeah. How did you, like, when did you start getting into like streetwear and sneakers and stuff?
High school for sure. And I gotta shout out my man Jake Wolf. He's the one that kind of put me on it. So like around 2000, because I graduated 2009.
Okay.
I'm 32 years old. 2008, 7 is when like all these streetwear brands started popping off again. Like Crooks and Castles, Stussy was coming back to like the light. Supreme, of course, 10 Deep, Acapulco Gold, Pink Dolphin, all these like fucking brands. And I think around then, like, I met my one of my best friends now, Jake, and you know he looked fly and shit. I'm like, man, that's dope. Like, and then just like process to hanging out with him, I met some of the other homies, and like they were dressed the same, like same shit. And I was like, all right, these guys are all like fucking shopping in like the same like site or like same store. And then sure enough, like there's a store called Motive 804, I believe it was called, and Complete Clothing, which is like the guy who started I think he was part of Nice Kicks, because we had Nice Kicks too in Austin. And yeah, so started going through all these stores and like started buying shit from them. And then eventually it all went to online, because online is like where you could really find everything. So I would say like around 2000, high school for sure, 2006, 2008-ish is when like started really. Like,
where did you grow up? I mean, I know some of these questions.
No, yeah. I grew up as a kid from like till like 7 years old. I grew up in Mexico, a small ass village, like about 3 hours south of Mexico City. Bro, no more like than 200 people, probably like 250. Poor as fuck, man. It's crazy. I like to even think about it, like where I'm at now. But
so like growing up, did you have like TV, cable?
So
like,
we
shows?
had. I clearly remember this. Like we had a small. Well, so we had a house in Mexico. Me and my mom. But my dad was in the States. And like he would send money down and whatnot. But my mom like always liked to stay with her mom and her family. So we would actually we would go stay like the whole week with my grandma at her house. And I would say I actually grew up more there than my actual house. But anyways, they had like a small TV that you have to get up to change the shit. And it was like black and gray. Which was fucking crazy. You have to like have your water like once a week put in this big ass tank. Like the city runs like pipes to like these tanks on top of the roofs, and they fill them up, and that's like all the water you have for like the week to like shower.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Did you have like a meter where you could see how much you had or something?
I was a kid, so I didn't like really know. But like then they also have like these I don't even know what you would call them in English. In English and Spanish, they would call them tanques. And it's just like a concrete, like, square, hollowed out square. And they would fill those out with water. And you would use that, like, on like a concrete washboard, too. You scoop the water out, and that's how you would wash dishes. And wash your hands and shit like that. But yeah, man, it's such a fucking... You have to have a mosquito net at night because fucking mosquitoes will fucking kill you. It's, yeah, bro.
They'll fucking kill you?
I mean, you know, you're going to wake up with all these fucking things on.
But you probably can't even sleep at that point.
No, yeah. It's not that bad, but I mean, it's just like you got to put one of those things on. Otherwise, you're going to wake up with some shit. But
And then how is the kind of like transition from going from there to America, and where did you, when you're 7, go?
Dude, it was wild. So my dad finally like figured out how like to get us a green card, and I remember flying to Juarez. That's the first time I ever flew. I was fucking terrified, like, like, the fuck is this? And we went and got like our paperwork, and then I think from there we actually flew back, and we had to wait a month or two, and then finally we flew into San Antonio. And I remember my dad picking us up there in this red truck. I'll never forget this red Ford truck, older red Ford truck, and drove. And my first house here we used to live in a trailer park, and that's when I was in second grade, and it was just I didn't know English. Like it was such a fucking foreign thing. Like it was kind of scary. And then when they put me in school, like I think the first year they put me in a class where like the teacher knew Spanish, right? But it was still like I was like, dude, like what the fuck? So I think a lot of it, a lot of my drawing came from that era because I started like just drawing on my own just to kind of like keep me busy because I didn't know how to like communicate or anything. So I was like, oh, I'm just gonna draw. And yeah, man, it was a culture shock for sure. Like I remember the first time like touching carpet, I was like, damn, this is crazy. And then in the trailer back in the day, like the cold air from the AC would come from like there was like vents on the bottom, you know. So I would like lay down next to like the vent and like just be like, oh, this feels so good. Like the cold air coming out. I'll never forget that, man. And yeah, it was just like it was pretty crazy to think back now. But I think the reason why I learned English like quicker down like my neighbors, it's the weirdest thing ever. It was two chicks and they were lesbians, and one was black and one was white. I guess they were bi or something. I don't know, bro, but they had kids. Like each one of them had a kid, and it was a white little boy and a black little boy, Justin and Jared. I'll never forget them. And they had like all the cool shit. They had like trampolines, like the game systems and one. And I used to hang out with them. And the cool thing about them is that whenever I would say something wrong, like they would correct me. You know what I'm saying? And like that kind of like helped me out to like, you know,
like
pick
not
up.
in a like making fun.
No. They were like, no, like this is how you say it, like it's type shit. And then like, you know, that kind of like helped me like learn the language.
You just sped it up.
Yeah, it sped it up instead of like in school, like trying to like the fuck, like it's nothing like having that like actual like conversation and like, you know, right there with somebody that's like willing to like help you. Yeah, so it was.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you would never tell like it's not his first language.
No, yeah.
It's gotten better. I know a lot of people used to like tell me I had an accent, and I probably still do, but
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. Not to me.
Okay.
Like to me, like
because you can't really hear yourself.
When we first
right?
met and we talked, like I thought English was your first language, and then I was like, oh,
The
and then we got
fucked
to
up-
know each other better, and you're like, oh no, I spent like 7 years.
The fucked up thing now is that like I've not forgot Spanish. I mean, I just certain words I can't even like translate no more, or never even learn them in Spanish. I guess would probably make more sense because I don't know how to say certain things in
Yeah,
Spanish.
'cause I guess you never really had like, you know, English training, but like when you go to school, you
Yeah.
have English class, you never had Spanish class.
Yeah.
Learn some of the more complex like.
And I
stuff.
and I definitely forgot how to write it correctly in the sense where like the little accents.
Yeah.
Like I forgot how to do that shit.
No. Does your family still just like speak Spanish only when you're around? Or
Yeah. So that's why I still speak it every day. Because I see my mom every day, but yeah, they speak Spanish. My dad talk English here and there with me.
When you were like growing up, what were you watching? Like in, I'm sure you had TV.
I was watching Dragon Ball in Spanish.
Dragon Ball in Spanish?
No, the Dragon Ball, like when he's a kid,
Gotcha.
the original one, and then Saint Seiya, in Spanish. So I was watching anime without knowing that I was watching anime, like from a fucking young age, bro. I clearly remember those two being my first ones. So, and then like I would watch like Transformers 2, like the old school one, all in Spanish. And I think those are like the three that I clearly like actually remember watching growing up as a kid
Yeah,
back in Mexico.
those three. I mean, that's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you could have been stuck with, I don't even know, just like those cable channels where the cartoon is sometimes for like 15 minutes that has no story.
Yeah.
So early on, when you got to the U.S. and you're in school, were you like playing any sports, or were you just like ever focused on anything other than drawing? Like, were you thinking like, oh, I'm gonna get a job, maybe in like pure science, or like I'm gonna go
I was in elementary.
trade
I was
and,
just
like,
being a
weld?
kid, my man. I was just chilling.
you were just drawing the whole time?
Yeah,
Like,
I was just chilling, and I didn't do any sports in elementary. I think it's funny you asked that. Now that I'm thinking about it, I used to like running even back then.
Really?
Like I remember I used to pride myself in trying to be like one of the fastest to run a mile. So that's crazy. It's a little breakthrough right there. Because I'm a runner now. I'm
that's what you do. You're always posting
so
some stats on.
Interesting.
Do you run distance or
long distance is my thing? But recently I've been trying to like get faster times. So like, do you run?
I ran a half marathon when I was
nice.
in better shape in my life, but no, not anymore. I just lift now.
Yeah, right now I'm just doing like maintenance where like I do 3-4 miles just kind of keep my stamina.
Yeah.
And then like whenever I like feel it's right or whether I'll go for like a 9-miler, half marathon just on my own, just for fun.
Yeah,
like,
just do it.
Just like
just
fucking
fuck
do
around.
it. Yeah.
See, I'm the opposite. I did it back when I was in college because my dad runs marathons.
Oh, nice.
And so there's one up in Burlington, Vermont, where it's actually kind of cool. So you can do the full marathon, or you can do it as teams.
Oh.
And so they have the option to do it as a team of 2, and you each do a half. Or they have like a team of 5, and they have, each one's different, maybe anywhere from 3 to 6 miles, depending on the leg of it. And so back in college, I was like, fine, Dad, I'll run this marathon, I'll run this half marathon with you, just like so we can do together. And I literally hated every single minute of training for it up until the marathon. Hated every second of the half marathon, and then I was like, I'm never gonna run again. And I honestly don't think I've ever run since. I had my goal. My goal was just to do 2 hours. 2 hour half. That was all I wanted to do. I did it, and then I was like, all right, no, I'm done.
I watched like some of these videos on YouTube, like like those inspirational like motivation from certain
David Goggins.
Yeah, shit like that. Yeah. And like I came across one, I can't remember who it was, but they were like, the trick to running is like you gotta be like looking forward to that pain. Like that's gotta be your motivation. Like I want to feel that. Like and like kind of fucking works though. Like because when you're like, I started telling myself like, man, I can't wait to be like struggling like fucking like, and then like once I get there, like I'm like, all right, this feels good. Like after this, it's gonna feel even better because I'm gonna be like relaxing and like stuff like that.
Do you feel like it helps creativity?
Oh yeah, bro. It helps me like just clear my mind. It's a good way to like kind of cleanse my thoughts and everything. And that once the runner side kicks in, it's you just like sometimes you really do feel like you can go on forever, man. It's pretty crazy.
What's the furthest you went? We have a person on our team who did a, I don't know, 100-mile ultra marathon, and his toenail fell off.
Like,
was he doing one of those Ironman things or something?
No, it was some crazy shit.
I think it was just like a straight up ultra marathon.
Oh yeah, those guys are insane.
He said he went from we went from New Hampshire down to like Massachusetts and back. Some crazy shit. Like,
what?
Yeah.
The longest I've ran is 14 miles. So like a little bit over. And the crazy thing is after that, I was like, because I want to run a full marathon. And I'm like, bruh, how the fuck am I going to do another 13 miles when I'm like fucking dying right now?
It's crazy. And like, I think that's the thing. Like my dad was telling me about doing like the full marathon is like, the first half is like the easy part.
Yeah,
and
bro.
then like where it gets really hard is when you like start to run out of all of your nutrients and shit. When you hit like 20 or so miles and your body's just like, all right, I can't really do this anymore. And so if you want to keep going, you're welcome to. But like I'm fucked. Like
yeah, man.
Good luck.
It's actually kind of been a mind fuck because I keep thinking that I've done 2 half marathons.
Nice.
And after every single one, like when I'm like mile 12. And I'm like, all right, I'm almost done. And I'm like, bro, if I was running a full marathon, I'd only be halfway done. And it's scary. It's like
fuck.
I do think that some amount of the adrenaline like helped me. Like I think the farthest I ran training was like 10.5 miles or something like that. And like, I don't know about you, but I'm very competitive personally. And so like, if I was just running 13 miles by myself, I would have done it a lot slower. But like running it with other people running around.
I've heard
literally
that.
My strategy to motivate myself is I would find someone in front of me and
like, I gotta pass
fuck
him.
that guy. I'm better than him. He's not beating
I'm like that sometimes on the street when I see like a runner in front of me and I'm kind of getting tired and I'm like, I'm gonna catch up to this motherfucker and pass him and just...
that was literally all the motivation. And since this marathon had like the different team sizes you could do, honestly, it was really demotivating sometimes, but also helped me. You'd have like families who would do it because you have some little kid. You say, okay, run 3 miles, like the kid can do it, and so you're at like mile 10, you're fucking exhausted, and then like a 7-year-old comes sprinting past you because they literally just started. You're like, fuck you, man.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Fuck the 7-year-old.
And so I was like, I'm not getting beat by the 7-year-old. So
No. I don't care if it's the 7-year-old's first half mile and it's my 12 and a half. I'm passing the 7-year-old.
It's a good that sport is just you, right? And that's what I love about it. It's like I don't have to like depend on anybody else. I can be on my own time, like whenever, blah blah. And it's just you, like it's all on you, and that's how I like to operate. Like mostly be all on me, and then just blank out, put some good tunes on, and just vibe, man. It's
What kind of music do you run to?
Anything, bro. I could go from
Tool.
If I go from like Tool, Metallica to like fucking Tupac, or like just instrumentals, like just whatever I'm feeling. That I listen to everything, really, bro. Like everything, all kinds of music. So.
I really like running to the Black Eyed Peas.
Really?
I'm not even kidding.
I like, I do like.
What's your go-to Black Eyed Peas song? You got to run the fastest mile. You got in you.
I don't know. It wouldn't be my first choice if I had to run the fastest mile I had in me.
Okay.
It would just
But if you, given the constraint of you have to run the fastest mile in the Black Eyed Peas discography.
All right, this is gonna sound fucking ridiculous. It's My Humps.
My Humps. It's not the one that's like louder.
No, it's the.
I know My Humps.
Yeah.
Like,
just because of the beat of it, like having that like really consistent. Like I like running to like, and I like running like Outcasts as well and stuff like that, where it's like faster pace typically and like has a consistent beat to it, but like not as chaotic as listening to like Tool or something.
Oh, when I do like my long runs, I start with the Tool album or something, just because I know I'm about to be on a fucking journey, and like their music is like a journey. You gotta like listen from top to bottom. But for running though, I do prefer listening to full albums to start from like an album, just because I kind of know like by what song like I need to be at certain like mile, and like I know my certain albums were like, if I listen to this album, okay, this is 4 miles of like running type shit. Yeah. So
I'm kind of like that with pods, but it's like, and I know the pods I listen to are like 90 to 120 minutes. So when it's like, but I guess I don't go back to the same pods and re-listen to them like albums.
Yeah.
I definitely find myself. Yeah, I'll shut up. I've been only like listening to podcasts. I'm like, I never re-listened to a podcast.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever went back and I re-listened to these ones once to do the notes, but like I never have listened to a podcast. I'm like, that was so good. I'm like,
I've done it, but like a year or months later.
Yeah,
I've done it with a couple. I've done it with the Mike Tyson ones and Joe Rogan. The mushroom guy he had there too. He had the cool mushroom hat. Really smart scientist motherfucker.
Not Harrison. Not
anyway, like
not Hamilton Morris, but
no, not him. The other older gentleman, glasses, beard.
Stamets, Paul Stamets.
I think so. I sorry if I get that wrong.
Do you use any mushrooms, microdose or?
Not recently.
No.
Nah.
You've had some experiences.
I've had some like. A lot of people always say like when you do it for the first time, like it's better if you're like by yourself, chilling, like nice, comfy, safe space. Bro, the first time I did it was during South by Southwest.
Oh no!
At like the event, and it was just a microdose, but I was fucking drinking, smoking, and like just popping things and like
crossfaded.
Bro, I was so fucking like having the best time of my life. Like I was like. Yeah, like everything's cool. Like everything was so. I had the HD vision, like just so vibrant. Like I was telling everybody,
HD.
I was telling everybody, bro, I'm on shrooms. Like if I start like tripping out, like just look after me or something. And so yeah, it wasn't a bad trip at all. And honestly, it was like the first time that I felt like that like ego death kind of thing in a way, where like I just didn't give a fuck what like nobody like thought about me. Like I was just like happy, like just chilling,
just be yourself.
Yeah, just being myself, and like it was awesome. And so that was my first experience with it. Like,
do you remember like any of the music that you listened to?
No, because I was really just hanging out with friends mostly, and just vibing, like talking with them, and just you know, and
I'm big on like mushrooms. You gotta have the music.
yeah, that's one thing I do want to do. But and then the second time I tried them, funny enough, I did them after I ran 9 miles, so I was like probably dehydrated, and I did them, and same thing, like it wasn't as like nice of a trip as the first time. Not saying I was tripping or anything. I didn't feel the same, like, I don't know how to explain it, the same type of high. It was still cool, but like I did a bunch of like chocolate ones, like, and the first time I did it was like just the actual mushroom, like,
Oh, the fruit.
yeah, like I just ate it like
Gross.
that.
Did you wash it down real quickly?
No, I just fucking ate it real quick.
It tastes like dirt.
Really? I mean, well, I don't know.
You did say he was drunk and high, right?
Yeah, I was pretty drunk and high, so
It's cross-it.
so I just fucking ate it. But yeah, no, the second time with the mushrooms, since they tasted good, I kept eating more and more, so I had a higher dose than the first time. And everything was good. The only problem with that is like I think I told you, I don't know if I was telling you, or I was actually talking probably like Fungi about it. I was asking him for advice because he, you know, he dabbles in it, and I was like, dude, like 3 days after I did that, I started developing like this weird headache, like in the back of my head, and it wouldn't go away. And I figured, I was like, okay, maybe like it'll be gone like in 2-3 days, and then like just kept going to like a week, to eventually it was like a month, and it was like a weird, like just pulsing like headache. And then after like a little bit of research, some Reddit research I did, like from what I read is that mushrooms dehydrate you to begin with, and I was probably already dehydrated from that long ass run I did. Because obviously, you know, yeah, I did drink water after I finished running, right? But it's like your body's still overall dehydrated.
Yeah.
And I think I'm hoping that that's what it was, that I was just dehydrated. But I haven't done it since, just because I don't know if I got a bad batch, if it was a dehydration.
You don't want it to be like paranoia when you're going into it. That, like,
yeah.
Oh, fuck, that bad thing that happened that one time might happen again. Because then you like almost kind of manifest maybe things. Like I have that sometimes too. I know what you mean. It's one of those, you don't want to think about it, but it comes up. But if you think about too much, you can manifest it bad.
And you know what too? It's like I don't know if this is a myth or whatnot, so you can tell me. A lot of people back in the day were like, yeah, mushrooms you don't buy, like they gotta find you type of thing. And that's what happened the first time I did. Like they found me. The second time it was more like my friend sells them, so it's like, here's like some mushrooms, like, so it was a different like exchange of energy
from the universe.
Yeah, it was a different exchange of energy, because the first time it was like everybody was vibing, like, hey, you want to try some shit? Like just randomly found me, right? Like, so I don't.
For me, I'm always like, I'm pretty intentful. I'm like, I gotta have music picked out, but like I definitely find them when I need them. It's just not something I do often at all. It's like you want to be intentful about it. It's like,
right,
you feel like you have something you need to get through or resolve, then maybe go through it. Or if you feel like you're gonna be around friends or you're gonna do something fun,
yeah,
maybe do it then. But like,
you remember my homie you met, Cameron, the other guy who was with me
back in 2021?
No, or the other day.
Oh yeah,
at
yeah.
169 bar.
Like, wait,
He microdosed one day, and he fucking got on jet skis. He was like just microdosing and just vibing on jet skis. I was like, bro, you're crazy. Like, what if like something happened? Like,
that's like the
he's like, no, it's fine.
That's different. So if you take like under a quarter gram, like, I mean, I'm not gonna say like you should drive a car, but like
But you should probably fly a plane or something.
Pilots might be on it. But like once you get over like a half gram, it's like, all right, like I probably shouldn't be operating a vehicle or doing something. But I mean, there's people who eat a gram and go fucking jet ski or do stuff. But I mean, mistakes can happen. Like shit.
Yeah.
You don't want a mistake to happen, and then like people blame it on like the mushroom microdose. Like I feel like that's something that happens a lot too, where like if something goes wrong, it's like, oh fuck, they were on mushrooms, they must have been hallucinating. And it's like, well, they might have just had like a microdose. That's not.
Yeah. So I'll probably do them again. Just it has to be, everything has to feel right, and I'm not gonna force it.
But some of your work, that's what I was getting to, like kind of how some of the psychedelic feel, like the vibrant use of color.
What is that word? I vicariously live through my characters. So like a bunch of that shit, like yeah, I'll have them do the mushrooms. Like,
Yeah, it's like you have like the energy, you want
Yeah.
to get it out, and you like get it out in the character.
so yeah, like a lot of them have like a lot of them they're smoking. There's little mushrooms here and there. I don't really put alcohol in there because it's not really like
Not something you want to get out.
yeah. So, but yeah, man, we'll do them again one day when the vibe is right.
Going back to like high school, did you have any job as an artist in high school? Were you designing anything? Were you going to college for art, or what was kind of the transition out of being with the fam, going to school, to like starting to get your foothold in the art industry?
So it was like 2011, 2012 is when I was like somewhat at a crossroads. Because I graduated at 09, right? And then from there till 2011, 2012, I was kind of lost. Like, the fuck am I gonna do? Like, I worked retail jobs. I worked with my dad construction. And then finally I was like, dude, like, what are you gonna do? Like, do you really want to like follow in your dad's footsteps and like just fucking do construction, or like are you gonna like find some office job and just chill and like what the fuck do you want to do? And at that time, I had friends that are like, oh, I like your work, like let's make clothes, like let's make a clothes, because again, that whole streetwear shit was kind of popping, right? And all my homies are into that, so they're like, bro, let's make a brand, let's do clothing, blah blah blah. And so I was like, kind of started doing a little research on like what did I needed to learn to do stuff like that, and it all came back to like Adobe Illustrator, vector work, to do graphic design. So I took like 2 classes in my community college, one to learn Adobe Illustrator and then like a color theory class. But I'll be honest with you, bro, like the Adobe Illustrator class, I didn't learn shit because the lady was so bad. And like, and then another thing too, I would used to show up so fucking high, and like I would just like zone out, bro. And like I was like, fuck, like I'm wasting, because I had to pay for it too. Like I was like, fuck, I'm wasting like money. Like I'm not even like learning. And then basically this fucking lady's just going through the book. And I can just do that on my own, bro. Like, because the book came with the book, and it taught you from the beginning, step by step, kind of like the Blender donut tutorial, but just the book. And it had the CD with the program and everything, blah, blah, blah. And I started picking up on it, like, bro, this bitch is just like going through the book and like reading it to us. And I'm like, what? I could do this on my own. So then I just fucking said, fuck this. And I just started going through it on my own, bro, and like, that's how I learned. And then
the color theory class.
The color theory class was cool because the guy, my teacher, was awesome. Like he cared, and like I definitely did pick up a bunch of like patterns, like you learn the complementary, split, all that bullshit. And then once I learned that, you could break those rules, and like do the shit I do now with colors. But I think, out of any like art class that I ever took with intent to like learn to do something professionally, the color theory class was probably like the best thing that I've done. But when it came to the Adobe Illustrator, yeah, bro, after that I was just going through the book on my own, and then that's how I learned. And that's when I started like really thinking about doing it professionally, because then I had the skill to make the graphics that were on the shirts. And me and my buddy came out with a shirt. I don't count that as like my shirt because it was more a collab, and it was like his idea and everything, and it was kind of like for his brand at the time. So there was that shirt, and then after that I started doing like my own, like every here and there. But I think around that time is when it all clicked. And then it's funny looking back now and looking at that work, and I was like, bro, it's so whack, but like within that time frame, your friends were like, man, this is dope, like hyping you up to like to do it. It's kind of funny how that works.
Were you the only like artist in that friend group, or were you
No, so the homie that I mentioned earlier, Jake,
yeah,
the reason why we became friends, and it's fucking hilarious, him, Jake, and I'm gonna name these people, you guys don't know them. Me, Jake, Cameron, Brooke, and TZ were all these like friends that knew from each other from like just at school, but we all ended up in the same chemistry class after lunch. So we would all get fucking ripped as fuck during lunch and then go to the class and just fuck around and bullshit. But my homie Brooke, he was the link to everybody. He's the one that knew Jake, and Jake used to sit next to me, and I would like see him doodle on his worksheets, and I'd be like, let me see that shit. That's cool. And like, he's like, I draw too type shit. And then like we started trading like the worksheets that the teacher would give out for the day. We would pass it back and forth to each other and draw on them. I still have these worksheets with all like the graffiti and everything. Like we were supposed to be doing work on them.
You were not doing the worksheet?
No, we were like, and I swear I still have these sheets, bro. I'll take a picture and like show them to you. And we would just keep passing them back and forth. And that's how we became friends. And he was always better than me at drawing. Like he had like his like sick ass characters he would do. And now like he still draws, but he just like didn't keep up with it, which kind of like pisses me off. But now I'm better than him, and like, but it was him. Cause I stopped drawing for a long time. In middle school, instead of drawing, I started skateboarding, and I was just like a fucking asshole, like in the streets with my homies. Like,
do you still skateboard
smoking
at all?
weed? Nah, not anymore.
When's the last time you
I skated? Probably like, I would say like junior year of high school.
Oh damn! So
well, I've gotten on one before that.
Yeah.
I could still do like a little trick here and there, but like
still ollie.
I can still ollie. I do some shove it's really.
Okay.
Kick flip every now and then, like if I really like put my mind to it. It's all muscle memory, right? Like I just need to like do it again. But the thing that keeps me from doing it again too is like if I fall and break my hand,
You'd be kind of fucked.
yeah, it'd be kind of.
I had
So
a
it's like-
longboard experience in the summer of 2021 where I went through like the phase of like watching longboard clips on Instagram to buying me and Mrs. D's our own longboards to like all within a month, like with no pads really aside a helmet, deciding like, yeah, I'm just gonna go down like the biggest hill at Ohio State's campus, and then I'm gonna go down the hill, and then I'm like, oh, there's cars coming, so like instead of just going and waiting, I went down the sidewalk, and then like the sidewalk has no way to go left and right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
slow
go
down.
straight. So shoot out of there like a fucking rocket, jump off the board, take 2 steps, board comes back under me on accident. I step on it and just like smashed my arm and my leg right to the pavement. Cop drives right by, like just saw it all happen, didn't stop.
He's
And
like,
then I walked back up to her after not even 5 minutes of being away, and I'm just covered in blood and like laying down in those little planters where they just have a tree, like, and then soil. I'm just like laying in that with my feet up, waiting for an Uber to pick up bleeding. And I'm only worried about the League of Legends tournament I have that night. It's like a clash. We're doing clash with friends. And I'm like playing League with my arm all fucking taped up and just like. And it was like, yeah, I probably don't need the longboard again.
Yeah, I'm not a longboarder, you know.
Like that could have been a lot worse. Like I didn't break anything. I just got a bunch of ripped up skin and.
Yeah, I never broke anything while I skate. I cracked my wrist, like a fracture here, a hairline crack or something.
Yeah.
That was about it.
So I had like after that happened, I bought all the equipment. Like I bought the wrist pads and the elbow pads and the knee pads. I never skated again. I think I still have it in the new container. I never unboxed it, and I just look at the longboard as like a piece of art now. It's like now I got like an Alien Queen deck. Like you're talking about decks.
Yeah.
I don't know. The decks are cool. It adds like a new texture to the wall. It pops out. Like it's not just a plain.
Do you
thing.
have some hanging on your wall by any chance?
I have just the Alien Queen.
How do you?
Jake did.
After this, show me how you hung it.
Yeah, there's these like cheap $8 things.
Yeah, they're sick. You basically put it through the wheel holes.
Okay.
And so it's just like a wall mount.
Okay.
That you like drill into the wall, and then it has like 2 bits that stick out that go into where like 2 of the holes for the wheels would go.
Yeah.
It's really easy.
Yeah, and it's
I
very
have like
I got some that I want to hang.
floating.
I got some pretty good ones that I need to hang. They're just collecting dust, and it pisses me off because
I have like an old Supreme board that I have.
That's some HR Geiger.
Oh, nice.
Boards. The ones he did with Supreme, actually. And
I think I remember those. What do they look like?
they're the gray ones. They're all gray. It's like the head, and it's had all these like weird, like cyberpunkish, like
I remember those.
things coming out of it. But yeah, I want to after this show me because I want to hate.
Yeah, you have I think you have a good taste. Like he just has like a big collection of like cool.
I have a dude. Yeah, one of my goals is to get like a nice studio this year, just so I can like really put everything, like kind of like this space has like all these cool things around it, just so that like this is my space and like come here and like get inspired and like I just don't have room. Like right now on my walls, like I only have two frames hung up, and one is one of my pieces, and then another one is like this limited edition print from Ozabu, my favorite graphite artist, that I have. And those are like the only two things I have on my wall. But yeah, I want like a nice.
You introduced me, this kind of maybe off topic. I already forget their name. I got to pull it up, but you got me obsessed with this one artist on Instagram. You shared their work, and it's like
the girl with the Japanese kind of style, the graphite.
She just put out a piece like the other day. It just had an auction. It was like 2 snakes.
Is it graphite? Or no? Are you talking about the Japanese girl?
Yeah. I
Mitsu.
How do you find
or Jisoo?
How do you find these artists? Like, are you just like on Instagram looking?
No. So, dude, here's the alpha right here. If you like want to find like cool ass art, go to Pinterest.
Really?
Pinterest is where it's at, bro. And like usually it's pretty good about like if you click on an image, whoever posts that is for the most part they're really good at like linking to the artist, and then when you can go and find their socials that way.
Interesting. So I've only started using Pinterest in the last month, and I've been using it for house inspiration.
Yeah.
For like, these are some tables and chairs that look cool. So I haven't thought.
For Pinterest, I
always ask artists, like, how do you find other artists? Because I'm on Instagram and I'm like looking at the hashtag art thing, and I'm like,
click on all my pins, and that's like the shit I've saved, and like you're gonna see like a bunch of amazing art.
Some of this reminds me of some of Jisoo's work for sure.
Yeah, she's in there. Her work's in there for sure. Yeah, I found her on Pinterest, and she's one of my favorite artists.
Yeah, her work is sick.
Yeah, her work is sick as fuck. So yeah, bro, like that's.
So I didn't use Pinterest. This is the alpha. Like, I never used it for anything more than
the thing.
Stuff like this is sick.
That's sick as fuck.
That's
bro.
The stuff that like
the thing that's wrong with Instagram. So those are all my pins. The thing that's wrong with Instagram is like that search tab gives you. It feeds you from like what your friends follow too, right? And on Instagram, it's all like chicks, hot models, and like cars. At least for mine, like
for mine, it's skateboard clips, lifts, and like random shit. Like I guess I've trained it to just watch skateboard clips because I just go back and do that. But it's annoying because I don't see art. Like when I look at search, I don't see art, or if I do, it's from art that I know. Yeah,
on mine it's mostly Bengal cats.
We gotta talk about cats.
Bengal cats, Ferraris, because I'm fucking obsessed with this one Ferrari, and obviously the hot models go in there too. And but it's never like it's weird. It's not art. It's fucking weird. Like
and it's like I follow mostly artists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same.
At least 60% of who I follow on Instagram is artists. And you just go to the search tab, and it's just like
So I do Pinterest when
Pinterest.
It comes to like finding inspiration.
The cats, you made an interesting decision to get some. Are they Bengal cats?
They're silver Bengal cats.
Silver Bengal cats, and the most interesting thing that I've seen you do with them is you've trained them to be like leashed and outdoors. Like you'll take them to the park, they'll climb a tree. How did you make the decision to get the silver Bengal cats? And I gotta talk about like what life is like with these, because you feed them like nicer food than like I think I eat. And like those cats are lucky as fuck that I picked them, bro. Those are like the most like lucky spoiled cats in the universe. But no, man, I've always liked Bengal cat. I've always wanted to have I like having like different shit, like just like shit that catches people's eyes. And I've always ever since I saw a Bengal cat, I was like, bro, that's fucking tight. I need one. But at the time, I only knew of the orange ones, the regular ones, right? And then I
found out there were silver ones, and I was like, holy shit, these look like little mini snow leopards. So I was like, yeah, I gotta get one. This is the male. You can scroll through the slides, and I'll show you the female here in a bit.
Oh, that's sick.
So yeah, I got the silver ones because they're a little bit more newish, and I got the female first case. It's my baby. She's my little
57 weeks ago is like the little.
Oh yeah, bro, that was crazy because she was like really intrigued, and like she got scared as fuck when like the
big.
This is the girl.
Oh wow, she's pretty big.
Yeah,
how much do they weigh?
She weighs 11 pounds, and the male weighs like 13 right now. He's projected to hopefully reach 15.
Wow.
If I can
That's
make him
big.
reach
We
15.
have a big cat, and he's 13 pounds, and he's fucking massive.
Yeah, and these cats like run up trees and shit, just like.
Yeah, it's they're interesting little creatures, man.
What did you have to do early on to like get them outdoors? Like you had the harness, you took them out, but it was like, is it just simple? It's just like
I think so. I've had my experience. I had a cat before these two a long time ago, and with that one, like, she just eventually made herself to the back door of the yard, and she was like, "I need to go out there," and then I just opened the door for her.
So our cat won't go outside. Our cat's like indoor.
Yeah, no, she was intrigued to go out and let her out, and with that one it was cool because she would like be out and come back. And with these, my biggest fear is that, aside from them getting hit by a car, my biggest fear is someone stealing them. That's why I don't like let them out like I did that first cat back in the day. So
I won't want to let them out either.
But in my mind, they're cats, right? They're like they need to touch grass. So I didn't want to deprive them of that by keeping them inside out of just my fear of them getting stolen. So I was like, well, fuck, I need to like harness train these fuckers. And I just started looking videos on YouTube. Real simple, man. You buy the harness, you kind of put it like next to them, so they can kind of start smelling it. Kind of maybe like when you feed them, put the harness next to it so they kind of start associating the harness with food. And like it's just like, it takes like maybe like 1 or 2 days, and eventually they'll like let you like put it on. But the girl was like where I was learning everything, right? She was the first one I had, and she was pretty chill. She was like, she's really smart. She's the one that's trained. The boy's not trained. He's a fucking asshole. And but she was like really food driven in a way, so it was easy to like train her with the treats. Mm-hmm. That's another thing. The treats aren't just regular treats, like they're fucking chicken hearts and shit like that, bro. It's fucking crazy. But yeah,
eating good. They're
eating
like
good, bro.
Organic, grass fed, just like
they don't even drink water out of a bowl. Sometimes, most of the time, I have to go and turn the filter water on our sink, and they'll go and fucking drink water.
They want it fresh from the waterfall.
It's weird because I was doing research on it. The reason why sometimes a cat won't drink out of a bowl because it's still water, and it's like, it's still water has bacteria, blah blah, like,
Yeah.
So they're smart little fuckers. Like they know what they're doing. So when that running water, I think it simulates nature in a way, like running water. So yeah, man, they're little fucking interesting creatures. And she's the baby. She's the one that I really like spoil, and she's trained. She knows how to sit, shake hands, stand up, lay down.
Are they cuddly at all? Like if you're sitting on the couch watching a movie, or
no, bro. They're wild animals. They're weird. The most I can get out of her affection wise, when I first see her, like, yeah, I can go up to her and like scratch her head, pick her up a certain way, and like, she'll chill a little bit. And then like sometimes at night she'll like, if I have a blanket, if I sleep with a blanket, she'll go over my legs and sleep in my legs. That's about it. Mm-hmm. I can't just go up to her. If she's sitting like in that couch, if I go up to her, try to pet her or pick her up on her back, she'll just like, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Like,
our cat, he wants you to do that.
Our cats are like dogs.
No.
Like I can walk up to them, pick them up, I can throw them around, whatever, and they're just like, okay, this is
No.
my life now.
Not her. I can pick her up sometimes too, and she'll chill on my shoulder like a baby.
Yeah.
And like she likes that.
Is the male less affectionate?
The male is more affectionate.
Yeah, okay, that's how.
And I think I got a defective cat with her too, because she doesn't purr.
Really?
She doesn't.
You've never heard
I don't
her?
know. I don't know if she's like missing like.
the
Yeah, it's weird. But she doesn't. It's not like she won't go up to your feet and like rub herself on you or anything. She doesn't do any of that. The male does a little bit, and he'll purr. He'll purr like crazy. You can pick him up like a baby, and like he'll like let you pet him and everything. He doesn't come up to you and like sit on your lap though. Like he doesn't do any of that.
But you can go to him.
But I can go to him and like fuck with him like. So there, it's
do they sleep with you?
her sometimes. Like sometimes him, he'll have his cat tree and he sleeps on top of that. So yeah, it's weird. I thought they're gonna be more affectionate, but not. Which is it's kind of cool sometimes, right? Because they're not always like on me, like trying to fuck around with
They're
me.
not on your desk.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's like my family's dog growing up, just all the time is like heads here. He's like, if you're not petting him, he's like crying, and so it's nice to have animals that are like a little more independent.
But yeah, those are the little babies. The male's cool.
Do you think you'll keep them together as a pair, you get a third?
No, it'll be just them. And I don't think she like fully likes having another cat. I think, and then my whole reason why I got the other one was like, well, man, I want to get him a little buddy. Want to get her a buddy so they can play around, and they do play around. They chase each other, but it's not. They won't like sleep next to each other. They'll kind of like have their own like solo like dominance, like
Or territorial.
Yeah, kind of thing.
I wonder if it's like you have to get them as siblings versus
Probably
pairing them, because I worry about that with our cat where he's like 10 and like.
So introducing them was fucking crazy, bro. That was a wild time because I had to keep them separate in different rooms because she would like fuck him up because he was smaller when I first got him, right? And she was just constantly like hiss at him, like get the fuck away from me, like I don't know who the fuck you are. So like a trick to that for anybody that's wondering is like you keep them for like 3 days separate, like, but make sure you have a door where they can like see what's on the other side. And meal times, very important. You feed them at the same time, but separate on the other side so they can start associating the food. It all comes down to fucking food, man. They start associating the food and then the other smell of the cat, being there. And then eventually you can just leave the door cracked open and one of them will see what's on the other side. And then that's how like they'll like start like smelling each other. And like, it was weird, but I could not have them together at first because it was like...
Yeah, that's why we had been talking because our cats are brother and sister, and we had been talking about getting at their own potential. And we were like, it's just not worth the risk. Like, you get one and they fucking hate it. And like, we have a good thing going with our cats. They're like very affectionate. They would never bite or scratch anyone or like anything. Yeah. They're like not too timid. And so like, we don't want to risk it.
You don't want to risk that.
One, and then like, it fucks up the vibes.
But I think again, I did a lot of research when I was doing all this shit. I think once it's like two of them, it's a lot easier because those two are like homies already, and they're not like as afraid. Like, oh, what the fuck is this other thing doing here? Like,
yeah, I actually think they'd be more chill if we got a dog. They spent some time at Allie's parents' house, and they have dogs. And like the bigger of the two cats, like actually liked the dog.
Oh, nice, that's
hanging
cool.
out with it, and, like fucking around with it and stuff.
Larry.
Yeah, Larry's a character.
Larry's just pound of orange chaos.
Oh, he's an orange cat?
Yeah, they're both orange cats.
Oh, you got them orange activity cats.
Yeah, we have an orange cat too, but Larry's different. Like Larry would be like on the table eating some of the plant.
Oh yeah, he loves to eat plants.
Like,
be careful because some of them are poisonous.
Yeah, no, it's not my job. It's Allie's job, but she's got that shit on lock. But she, he like... So orange cats apparently get like this like gum issue, and so we think that's what it is. So we have to take him to it's fucking expensive.
We just got it with our cat.
Yeah, you have to take him to the vet, and they have to put him.
Shit?
They put him under.
They put him under to
it's
brush
almost
their
like
fucking
$2,000.
teeth.
What?
It's crazy.
The fuck?
Yeah.
They're
And
on like fucking morphine. They get put under. They get some of their teeth taken out. It's like a whole thing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like
so
they get a
get this
certain
like really
age.
bad like plaque buildup on their teeth, And so like Larry, he like loves to chew plastic, like if we get an Amazon
What the fuck? Loves the fake
dude, if
plant.
we get an Amazon package,
Oh yeah,
he's just going to town on that
Yeah.
shit. But like it's not like he chews it a little bit and then he's like, okay. He'll chew just forever. Like he will just do it forever. And so he's actually like due to go get it done again. And I'm just like, fuck, it's expensive. All right, another $2,000.
Oh no, I think we have something else. Ours literally, he got his pulled out. Like instead of getting it cleaned,
it probably like got so bad that he had to get it pulled out or something.
Because we had it taken him. Like, so we didn't take our cat to the vet for like, I don't know, years. Like, he's good. He's good. There's no problems. Like, he's not throwing up. He's not sick. Like, everything's good. But then the teeth thing was like, oh, he has to like get some teeth taken out. And then he like lost his meow for a little bit, where it was like real baby meow, it was all horrors. But now he's like back to himself.
Yeah.
It's like a week long thing.
Do you will your cats like eat as much food as you give them, or will they? Can you leave?
So the male Ryzen, he will literally die if I don't like portion control.
Same with Larry. Larry will eat until he pukes.
He will like. I have to be very careful with groceries or leaving anything out, bro. Especially tortillas or bread. It's so fucking weird, bro. He'll like get it out of the big bag, and I'll catch him like he's like has the whole package of tortillas in his mouth, like walking away with it. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
dude. Yeah, that guy will die if I don't like.
And he'll like Larry will like we'll be eating dinner, and he'll jump up on the table and grab shit out of your hand and run away.
Yeah, I got the male a little bit older than I did the girl, and I don't know if like the people were feeding him fucking table food, or I don't know what it is, but he's just so like he thinks he's not gonna get fed or something. I don't know if
he's starved.
Yeah, like he acts like he fucking doesn't eat chicken hearts.
That's
for
exactly
fucking,
how
like,
Larry is. It's brutal.
Yeah, it's.
How did you come up with the names for them?
So Case is the girl. She is named after one of my characters. And Case is just like a name that like, well, Case is obviously a name, right? Everybody knows like that name, but I don't know. I spelt it different, Kayze, just because I thought it looked cooler or whatever. And then Ryzen is a character from Yu Yu Hakusho. I don't know if you're familiar with that anime.
Yeah, I've heard.
He is the demon dad of Yusuke, the main character from that anime.
I used to play that video game. I never watched the anime, but
you never watched the anime?
I played the game on like PS2 or something.
Oh, nice.
You're like the demon dad. You were kind of like prophesizing that this might be like an agent of chaos.
Oh, dude, and that's he's not even bad. He's just a little fucking. When it comes to food, bro, he's.
Does he wake you up early in the morning to eat?
Yes, but I started to change that. I was like, because I was, they would wake me up and I would start feeding them like at 6 a.m. And dude, on the weekends too, I was like, even if I went out, I was like, fuck, I'm gonna get woken up at 6 a.m. and fucking have to feed these motherfuckers. So I kind of started doing some changes where like, even if we wake up, like I'm not gonna feed you till like fucking 7 or 8 at least. And they gotten better now where like they don't wake me up. Because I made the mistake of feeding them when I was waking up. And that fucked everything up.
Yeah.
Because then they got the expectation.
Yeah,
you can't start your day until they're fed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Larry wakes me up at like, I woke up at 6:15 today to feed the cats. But I've also been trying to wake up earlier anyway, so I actually don't mind that much. Like I've been trying to shift my routine to get started earlier and go to bed at a reasonable hour, like 10 or something.
What does a day in your life look like? Like in general, when you're like creating?
Wake up pretty early. I'm an early person, early bird. Wake up like around 5:30 in the morning, and you brush my teeth, blah blah blah, and just start working. I start.
Run, no.
No, I sometimes I've gotten my depends on the time of the year. Sometimes I do prefer running in like early when I wake up.
It's hot as fuck sometimes down
in Texas, yeah. So once it starts getting like really summer hot, I'm gonna start running in the mornings. But right now I've been doing it at night because it's still pretty chill and like it cools down enough at night and it's chill. But anyways, like I'll wake up, start working till like around 11, then I eat something and then just fucking go back to working till like 2-3 ish, and then that's when I kind of start like like taking it a little bit easier in the sense where like if I feel like I got enough work done for the day up to that point, and like a homie's like, who's on the game, like on Discord, like I'll hop on and like play a couple games.
You still Call of Duty?
Not as much as like I used to, bro. It's not the same anymore.
What's the new one?
No, nothing. I haven't really been playing anything recently. But like on a regular like day, I would and play for a little bit, and after that, go on my run, and then just end up the night with drawing, or if somebody's on the game again. It just depends on how much work I get done at the beginning of the day. Because if I feel like I have enough work done during the day, then I can kind of fuck off a little bit. And
you know what feels right, like like by 2-3 o'clock, you're like, wow, I got a lot of.
Yeah. And then like obviously, if I'm busy doing like a project or a deadline, then I'm not gonna play the game and just fucking keep working as much as I can. But every day for sure, like around 3, I take the cats out for an hour at least outside and just fuck around with them.
Breaks up the day a little bit.
Yeah,
gets their energy out, so they're not just up all night fucking destroying shit in the house.
You know what? That's one thing I'm lucky about. At night when it's time to go to sleep, they'll go to sleep. They're not fucking around like on their own. Like they see me, oh, he's going to sleep. It's time to go to sleep.
What time do you go to bed at normally?
Good days 10:30ish to 11. 11:30 is like my max where I'm like I can still catch some good sleep if I'm gonna wake up like at 5:30. But I've been pretty good and been going like around 11.
How's this week, man?
This week is, oh man, I'm gonna
go into bed around 5:30.
I get some good sleep 11. When I get back to Texas. Man, it's been crazy, but I'm kind of used to doing shit like this every now and then. I did South by during March, and it's basically this, but on steroids times like 100, because it's like constant every day, and there's parties every day and shit. Like, so you're like just out there every day, like till fucking 5 a.m. sometimes, and you gotta like somehow do it all over again the next day. It's fucking nuts, man.
What's the most memorable moment from South by this year?
From this year, South by?
I've never been to one.
You never been to one?
Me either.
This year was more chill, to be honest. But I think my highlight of this year was probably like the 5-6 a.m. Forgot what it was called, party. One of my homies threw a party till like 6 a.m, and there was all these fucking like well-known like fucking college football players and like NBA from UT and shit like that. Nice. And just like it was like fucking just going till like 5-6 a.m, like serving alcohol, and just like
you're dead.
Yeah, it was cool because there was a bunch of cool people there, and like, you know, you got to meet with like a bunch of like artists as well, because it's South by.
Is South by like big on art exhibits or?
No, I wouldn't say it's super big on it. They'll have like art, like stuff,
but it's not like
the main like thing attraction. It's interactive, film, and music. So those are the 3 like big branches of it.
We all go one year. It's always a pain when it's around everything else. It's like East Denver, LA, people thing.
Yeah. And in South by, it's like it's not really.
It's not as like crypto.
It's not, and it's not really. I mean, last year when they had the Doodles thing was probably like the most NFT crypto thing of the whole thing. Yeah. That was about it.
So when did you start really like, you know, you said you started doing stuff for clothes and started like kind of found yourself again in art a few years after graduating from high school. At what point, or like what happened where you were kind of like, all right, now I'm a professional artist, like this is what I'm doing for a living? What was kind of that like?
I think when I knew that I could do it for a living was when I was able to pay my car payment with the money that I was making from art. And I think I was like 24 years old, and I was fucking driving around in a 7 Series BMW. It wasn't like a new one, but it was like still like kind of expensive, and I was able to make the payments on it. And I was like, okay, like you can do this type shit. Like I was like, all right. And then but I think around 2014-ish is when I knew. But it was now that I think about it, bro, it sucked because I was doing a bunch of commissions.
I was about to ask, were you doing commissions,
Bro,
selling prints?
I was doing commissions on shit that I didn't want to draw, but like I needed the money to like make this payment and like all this other shit, like my rent. And like, dude, that was probably like one of the like my worst like times as an artist, in the sense that I was doing all these commissions that I didn't want to do. But in hindsight, it gave me a lot of practice. To even though I was drawing shit I didn't want to do, it forced me to like still make it good, because it's like people are paying for it. So like that kind of forces you to like learn shit. Like it gives you another motivator, right? Because you're not doing it for yourself, you're doing it for somebody else. And if you don't like it, especially, you still got to do a good job. So I picked up a lot of techniques, a lot of like coloring techniques, inking techniques while I was doing that whole commission shit. And it was cool because I was doing Periscope at the same time, because Periscope was linked with Twitter back in the day. So if you were streaming on Periscope, you could watch it on Twitter. You didn't even have to follow me on Periscope. And I was already working anyway, so I was like, fuck, I might as well stream this shit. And like it became like this thing where I had like a nice, like a little group of people that would tune in every time, and like we just became friends. And like I'm drawing anyway, so I would like explain why I would do certain things, and like, you know, it became kind of like almost like a teaching thing in a weird way too. And like people would tune in to like kind of learn. But in that sense, it was a cool time. But like as far as me like doing all the commissions, bro, it was probably like one of like the most sucky years of my art career. But it was one of those things where you kind of had to go through it, you know, just to move on to the next
Did it feel like there was like a light at the end of the tunnel when you were doing it, or did you feel like, fuck, I'm gonna have to do these commissions for
I think
while?
Yeah, I don't know, bro. That's hard to tell now, because I gotta go back. I gotta really think. But I just remember at one point I was like, fuck this, I'm doing my own shit. Like I'm gonna draw whatever the fuck I want, and try to sell that. Like, and it just clicked, and I just went for it. I think I have a tweet too where I like tweeted about it, and I bookmarked it. I gotta find it, where it's where I said, I was like, nah, I'm gonna take a chance on my shit and like just like go for it. And yeah, man, that's when I really like was like, I'm gonna do this on my own. And then once I started like selling like a few things here and there, and back in that time when I would release a limited edition print, I remember, bro, it was like I would do like 12 or 18, and it would take me like a whole like week to week and a half to like sell them, just because I was already in that mindset of like, it's really limited, so I have to charge you a little bit more than just like a regular print. I was already trying to like build up that limited game, and it would take me a while because of that to sell them, but like eventually I would. And like now it's like crazy how
Like
quick.
You know, you did the right thing looking back. Like you don't just
Yeah,
have, like,
no, I don't regret nothing.
500 prints that you did for low edition, or I mean a low amount of money that a lot of people have. It's like you have the smaller amounts.
Yeah, man, I don't think I've ever done a run of prints bigger than 100. I think ever.
Yeah,
I think have I even done 100 run? No, I don't even think I've even done that.
all the ones I have are 30 or less.
50, the Pepe, and the Zero and Friends is 50.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So that it feels like you've always had that in your mind, even when you were starting out. How are you finding the early collectors? Were you just like DMing them on Twitter? Are they your friends?
It's just Twitter. Like, Instagram was more popping back for art around that time, so a lot of them came from Instagram. And it was a time when the algorithm was nicer too on Instagram. Instagram, I have gone viral like crazy. I think I had some videos there like with like 100,000 plus views or likes or whatever the fuck. So it was a lot easier back in the day to be an artist on Instagram. But yeah, just like I would just constantly be putting out work, and that's how, like, I guess people found me.
And then how did you find crypto and NFTs from there?
2020, late 2020. I was just on Twitter, and it was Ferocious, actually. I saw something about them. linked to like SuperRare or something. It was, I know what SuperRare is now, but
Yeah,
at the time I was like, what the fuck is it? So I was kind of like curious, and they're like selling art for Ethereum. And I was like, what the fuck? Like,
what's the thing?
And did you know what
no,
crypto?
I
you know
knew.
crypto?
So before I entered this, I was fucking around with like Litecoin.
Yeah.
and,
Oh, yeah,
like, all
so
this-
you knew some
I
shit.
knew a little bit of it.
Knew enough to be dangerous.
Yeah, and so I was like, oh shit, they're paying with like crypto. Okay, like I kind of dabble a little bit on this, not crazy like y'all, but just
But no, like you knew it was legit. Like it wasn't.
yeah,
just like,
yeah.
The
And
fuck is Ethereum? Like
yeah, no, I knew it was
Fucking
a
environment.
yeah.
and I think somehow I came across what was his name? Red logo. He was dropping all kinds of info. Lupify, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I came across his page, and they just kind of seemed like they knew what the fuck they were talking about. So I kind of followed that page and saw who they were interacting with, and that's kind of like I became more aware. Like I saw SuperRare again, and I was like, oh, well, I saw SuperRare with Fagwell, so I'm like, let me go see what SuperRare is all about. And I went in there and kind of studied their thing. Didn't sign up right away. I kind of just
Yeah, I was gonna ask about the application process for SuperRare back then. Like
it was
you
weird
remember
because
yours?
you had to make a video of yourself.
Yeah.
Like talking like why you like I guess wanted to be on there or whatnot. You had to submit some pieces to like show what kind of work you were doing. So it was kind of weird in the sense that you had to make a video, but it was easy. Like it's nothing crazy. But before I did all that, I kind of just still studied it a little bit, like just seeing like what it was all about. And yeah, finally I made the application. I think like late November of 2020, and I got accepted like in December, like middle of December. So it was fairly quick compared to like a while back how people were still trying to get in. Like
There's like 3 6
years.
months.
Yeah, it's like crazy. And at the time, I had already like work that I could have like minted for my first piece, but I was like, nah, it's a new thing. I might as well like do a new piece. And my thinking was like, if I do a new piece, I can like bring on this new audience and kind of have them follow me on my process, my journey, because I like posting the works in progress. I
love it.
I don't know how some artists don't. And again, everybody's different, but I like showing people how I'm working it. So when you see the final, you're like, oh, I remember him. Like when it was like just a fucking outline, like, type shit. And it's a good way to bring people with you on your journey. But yeah, I from the beginning, I knew I was like, I need to come into the space with like a new piece. And that's probably when it like been like one of my best decisions that I made for all this Web3 is like doing something new from the beginning.
And then after that, the next piece had like a pretty big collector buy it.
Stani?
Yeah, Stani from Ave.
Yeah.
I remember when it came.
He bought.
He bought my second one. And you know how I know he was big? I didn't know who he was. Even my other homie that's not into NFTs, he was like, dude, that's the guy from Ave. And I was like, shit, how do you know? I don't even, you know what I'm saying? So
Like we're literally like some collectors saw his first piece. He got our attention. We're like looking for the next piece. And we just started bidding on it.
Yeah.
We're just like, well,
Dude,
we're
honestly,
so fucked.
all the art collectors who have done well are lucky that more OG DeFi whales didn't just come in and like drop a bag on art.
All of the like Canes and Stanies.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Leshner got some.
Hayden.
are you familiar with my first one, my Genesis collector? I can't even I can't even know. I don't even know exactly what he's trying to like.
I'll pull it up and look. I just remember being there when Stani bid and just being like, yeah, I'm not.
I wish we would have been able to have a relationship like this. I don't know if he's just busy or more private guy or something. I do exchange words with him every now and then, and he knows I'm very grateful for the support and everything. And I just didn't keep up the relationship with him. It's weird.
It's tough, and I also feel like
Yeah.
I get the I've only met him once or twice. I get the vibe that he's just like pretty reserved.
Yeah, he seems
He's
like
also
that.
very busy.
Like
Yeah.
yeah.
I think he was very busy, and now he's like a little bit more almost semi-retired.
I don't even know if he's still collecting like NFTs.
No, so my theory is that Stani is Ado. Remember Ado? The anonymous collector, like this is Ado, who like came in and bought a bunch of shit on Foundation and then like disappeared. Their PFP was just like an egg.
Oh, that guy, the egg.
Yeah.
You think that was him?
So you remember how Ado for a second was going to launch? So when he did that, when Ado came in, Stani stopped buying stuff. I'm like pretty convinced that it's him. I never asked him, but so Stani stopped buying stuff and Ado came into the space, and then Ado dropped like that platform that they made for art that they like abandoned pretty soon after.
Yeah.
But it used Aave. I don't know if you guys remember, but you could like bid on stuff with like through locking your ETH on Aave and like paying for it in the interest of like your ETH on Aave.
I don't remember this.
And so I already was suspicious beforehand, and then they launched that, and I was like, this has to be Stani. Like, who else would make a platform using Aave to buy art? And then like that kind of account is basically just not used anymore. And so like it was obviously someone's alt account.
Yeah.
Who just like stopped using it. And so my theory is that it's Stani. And then he started working on Lens and stuff instead. And so instead of doing the art stuff, he did social.
I'm curious now. I'm going to go on my own and check to see what was the last like piece on SuperRare he bought under Stani. It might have been mine.
Yeah.
To be honest.
I mean, I don't remember him being a massive collector at the time. I just remember him like bidding on your piece and me being like mildly annoyed. It's like, fuck, like
he's
not gonna win that one.
That one's been my biggest ETH sale in terms
like
of
20
ETH.
some, right?
No, I think it was like 35.
Oh shit, yeah. I tapped out by 20. I just remember I was like, I'm gonna have to wait for the next one.
Yeah, it was like 35, and then like US dollar, if I remember correctly, it was around like 50,000 or something like that.
Not bad.
So yeah,
do you feel like that put a lot of pressure on you, like early on, or no?
No, not at all.
That's good, because I feel like sometimes like artist comes in and it's like you just put out two pieces and one sold for like 15, the other just sold for 50 USD wise, and you're like,
oh no, I think it was, man, my apologies, I think it was $35,000 worth. I don't know what ETH was at the time, but and you might have been
like
right.
I only think in ETH, and like artists like mostly think in dollars.
Yeah, I think you might have been right. I think it was like a 25 ETH bid.
I just know it was over 20 because I tapped out. I was like,
that's in terms of ETH, that's been my highest sell. I think the one with you and Sobe have been my highest US dollar sell.
that was a good one.
That one
was
or Path?
Yeah.
The one that Path bought for me.
the one we got was a good story because Sylvia and I were in a fantasy football league and we were in the finals of the fantasy football league versus each other. So like we're going to be 1 and 2, and we were like, let's just take the winnings and buy a piece from Zaid together, because like we were at the point where Zaid's work was gonna get away from us, and it was like I'd rather co-own it with Sobe than just own editions.
Yeah.
So we picked that one up with the fantasy football. It's like a fantasy football trophy. Like you see it every day, and it's like, what better trophy than like a badass piece of art that you co-own with your friend?
And you guys are the first ones that I did that the little NFC chip thing that's somewhere in there. Shout out to Thomas Stroke. He's the one that told me about that. You know Thomas Stroke, right?
Stokes or
Stroke?
Thomas Stokes the third.
Yeah,
the painter.
Yeah. He's the one that put me on that. He was like, "Hey, just buy them. They're real cheap." And it's
What's nice because you get like additional provenance layer. Basically, it's like you can verify that this is a Zaid print, like through this chip as well.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
When you like started, like stopped working construction and all that kind of stuff, and like random jobs, and started getting back into art, were your parents always like supportive of that?
No, bro. I have like really like Catholic, like Mexican parents. It's weird. Like my mom loves me, right? She loves me, but she's never fully not even till now. She's like, she doesn't know any of this. Like shit is like, I don't think she doesn't know the scope of like what the.
You like paid off their house.
I paid off their house, like bro, like and like till this day she doesn't like. She thinks there's something fishy about it. Like it's like, oh, out of nowhere you're like getting all this fucking money. Like
she doesn't check the chain.
No, she doesn't know how to do it. the furthest I've kind of taught her is like, this is my ledger. If anything happens to me, this is the passport to it. And then take it to my brother. I've actually had you in there where I'm like, you can take it to this guy. I told my brother, I was like, if you don't know him figure it out, take it to D's and he'll like do it. But like my mom knows like the password to like my ledger and to get into my iMac. And like, yeah, I think the first time I traveled, like after I had a ledger, I was like, it's in the safe, blah, blah. Like if something happens, like the money's in there, like.
Don't forget about it.
Yeah, cash it the fuck out and like fucking do something with it. But yeah, no, they're like, she was never like, no, go to college. Like you need to have a real job. Like, you know, blah, blah, blah. My dad is more laid back in the sense he's like, kind of, he cares, but he's like, he's like, he used to be a demon back in the day. So he's like, you know, they're not as bad as me. So at least that's what he thinks. But you know, he kind of just whatever. And my mom's a worried one, always like, you know, trying to look out. It's just a mom thing, I think.
That's how moms are.
It's a mom thing. But yeah, she was always, no, go to college. And now that I'm like, see, like not going was like one of the best things that I fucking did.
You're showing them like an Air Force One.
And they don't even, I don't even think they really understood the, like what that was. Like, it's crazy.
No, like, you're like trying to tell them like, look, I have a limited like.
There's only 18 of these.
One
like,
of 18 with Nike.
You don't understand. It's rare.
Yeah, no,
they're like,
oh well, it's not in the store, so it's like you know you can't just go buy it. So
it's not at Walmart. Like,
Yeah.
That's kind of funny. Like parents
are funny.
Yeah, but yeah, I think now they're kind of. I mean, they understand that I'm doing something. They just I don't think they know the full extent.
Yeah.
Of like what it means to like. Because I think even just that Nike collab opened up doors. It's opening up doors for me now, like who I'm working with. And then like once I am able to talk about these other two, like I'm sure these are going to open more keys. Especially the second one. The second one, this person is definitely can be the key to a lot of things that I want to do. So I don't know, man. Hopefully one day they'll really be like, on board and like really know what the fuck is going on, but for now it's cool. It's like, you know,
they'll figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, the most important thing, like the one thing I really wanted to do when I first like saw like the possibilities of the space was like, man, if I sell this piece, well, when I first sold Faces and I sold it for like the amount I did, I was like, I just need to sell one more and I can pay the house off. You know what I'm saying? Because they owe like $35,000. And that one sold for like 15, and I was like, that was my goal. I was like, just one more, like let me get lucky one more time for like around that same price, and I'll pay their house off. And then after that, like, it's my turn. And yeah, man, no, the second one did way more than that, and I was like able to do it. So at least I was able to do that for them. That was like my number one goal.
There's something not fishy there, Bob.
Yeah, Mom, trust me. I robbed a couple banks. There's no big deal.
Do they hang any of your work in the house, or do they like?
No.
They
don't. It's the thing is, because a lot of my mom's real Catholic, so she looks at some of my characters and she's like, "Those look like demonic," or like you know, he's smoking weed. Like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah.
She's like real strict when it comes to that. Like, no, she knows now that we do. And she's not like anything she says is not gonna like
doesn't change that she loves you or whatever. Yeah.
But I think now she knows like me and my brother are more mature and we have our shit together. Like we're in the process of buying a house now. And she's like, all right, well these guys are like grown ass men. Like I can't really like fucking.
They see how successful you've been. They see the fruits of your labor. It's like
so. But no, back in like she's like, I would like. Every time I would go smoke with friends and I'd have to like come back home, it was a whole process of changing the shirt, eye drops, like eating something or something to try to take away like the smell of weed in my breath. It was a whole fucking process, bro. And like,
see, I was so scared of weed growing up. Like,
I started smoking when I was in 8th grade, bro.
Yeah, I didn't start till I was 20. I was just like deathly scared of it.
It's all because of a girl.
I was like,
too.
it's all heroin.
That's the only reason.
It's just all heroin. They teach you that.
Yeah, gateway drug.
It's on the same slide with heroin and methamphetamine.
That's right, because you didn't do it till like college, right?
No, it's just showing you're in a health class and you're taking the test and you're like, which one of these are Schedule 1? And it's like, all marijuana, methamphetamine.
That's the worst one.
Heroin. It's like,
It's the worst because it's the easiest to get. That's it.
yeah,
That's
and then
bad.
they kind of, like, I didn't have friends who really did it, or if they did, they didn't tell me.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, I don't know, I was not straight edge, I guess, but they knew that, like, if they told me, I was going to be like, you're fucking weird, or like, I don't know. So, I'm glad I found it when I did, though.
Yeah, I think it all worked out. I did it 8th grade. That's the first time I did it. And I did it out of a gravity bong. A homemade gravity bong was my first hit.
Is it like a friend's house?
My girlfriend's house at the time, and I was trying to be all cool, like, yeah, I smoked weed before, because we were fucking being bad. We were like, let's go skip, like, let's go smoke and whatever. My brother, like, she had an older brother, older sister. They were in high school, and like, yeah, she used to live right across the street from our middle school. So we're like, fuck it, let's go skip and smoke. And me trying to be cool, like trying to impress her, like, yeah, let's go, fucking show up. Older brother, older sister there, like, fucking have all these like weed things like on the table, and like they're cutting this jug of like juice to make the gravity bong. And I was like, and the whole time I was like, kind of like, what the fuck are we about to do? Like, I had no idea what that was, right? And yeah, man, like, they fucking submerged that thing and hit that shit, bro. I was like,
That's a lot for your first time. That's definitely not like how I would start.
That was the first HD vision experience. The first, like, when you would like turn and then like it would follow, like, and like
there's like a little brain lag.
Yeah, it was the coolest thing. I was like I was doing it on purpose because it was all like
with my eyes.
I was like, damn, all right, this is what it's like to being high. And then after that, I remember being so fucking paranoid because I was like, bro, I gotta make it home. Like, school's already out. Like, my mom's gonna be like, where the fuck is he? And like, and walking distance from the school was only like 10 minutes from where I live. So like, I thought like a whole hour had passed already, and I was like, just like fucking freaking out. So I was like, it was fucking crazy, but like, I was able to pull it off, and just like, you know, I don't think she suspected ever that was my first time ever smoking weed.
Now she's gonna listen to this and be like, "Holy
oh, I don't know where she's at, man. Wherever you're at, first girlfriend. I hope you're doing good."
First girlfriend, shout out first girlfriend. I don't know.
We're like a little after 3.
We have a question. We don't have to wrap it up, but I want to ask it. We ask everybody, what would the title of their autobiography be? If you were gonna write an autobiography.
God damn it, you really hit me with that? Because I was just no, because I don't know if you saw my tweet where I was like, bro, I suck at bios. Like, I
saw the one where you're using Chat GPT.
It's the first time I used it
to help write.
Chat GPT is awesome for something like
artist description.
Yeah,
because you were like, just look at my fucking art. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much, bro. Dude, if it's up to me, like, art is forever. That's like my thing. Like, because it'll be here when I'm gone. And
that's your title of your book, Artist Forever.
Artist Forever. Like, it was here before I started, and it's going to be here after. And it's just, art is always here. I don't know.
When you take apart, like, some of the influences you had growing up watching anime and stuff, like, what are the more, like, fine art influences do you have? Like, I know you mentioned, like, Murakami. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I can say fine art, but
the funny thing about Murakami, bro, and because I mean, I'm just going to get compared to him because I do take a lot of inspiration from him. But honestly, bro, like, I didn't even know of him. Like, even when Kanye dropped his, like, graduate, I didn't even know that was Murakami.
No, I didn't.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's not till, like, around 2016 where, like, I finally, like, I was like, oh, this is the guy that makes that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
And before then, even myself, like, I was already, like, drawing, like, squids and stuff like that. And I didn't even know who the fuck he was, but I don't think I've ever, like, I'm really bad at, like, remembering names of artists. So when it comes to, like, me trying to think of, like, inspirations or whatever that are fine art, like, I couldn't even really tell you.
Gotcha.
But I know the pieces, right? Like the for sure, like, Garden of Eden, or no, the delight. What is it? The Garden of Earthly Delights.
Garden of Earthly Delights by Hieronymus Bosch.
Yes, like, that is, like, probably one of my favorite pieces of all time, and I know who that is, and if I had to pick some inspiration, like you're talking
It's
about.
interesting you say that one. That's like one of the more like medieval, like, I mean, it looks like early surrealism, but it's just really like
That's one of my favorite
kind
ones.
of just taking like the Catholic Church and
Yeah.
like personifying it in a painting, but then people are like, oh, he was on mushrooms. It's like, no, he just quite literally like wrote about the Bible and heaven, hell, and the Middle Earth where the humans are.
Yeah, so that's when it comes to fine art, like pieces like that.
Were you the one who recommended me to watch that video about that piece? I think I put a tweet out. It was like asking for art YouTube videos.
Yes, so
And then
it's a
you sent
video
me,
channel that goes through
Great Art Explained or something.
Yes.
And then they have a hour-long video
On that
on
one?
the Garden of
I haven't watched that one.
I was sitting in my fucking notebook because I'm just like trying to write words down to use in Midjourney later on, and I'm like, oh, this word is like I never heard that.
Funny enough, the first one I've ever watched on that YouTube channel was the one, what's his name? Van Gogh's Surreal, the Starry Night.
Starry Night.
Yeah. I've watched that one on that. But I mean, you can count him too, because I actually was introduced to him in second grade in art class, because we had to like do our own version of that painting. So I guess that's when I found out about him. But I never kept up with them. It's just the basic ones, like Picasso and all that. Like, about them, but like...
But mostly more like the media, like from either TV or...
Yeah. When it comes to stuff like that, like H.R. Giger, I don't know exactly how you say his last name. He's always too been like one that I looked at his pieces and just been like, man, like that shit is tight as fuck.
It's just so alien and weird.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's the guy that designed the aliens for...
It's like fucking insects that are massive.
Yeah.
Like, demonic.
Yeah, man. But I mean, yeah, like I think I was telling you before the podcast, like inspiration wise, bro, it's like can't really pinpoint just one thing, right?
Yeah.
It's a accumulation of so many things that you experience throughout your life. Like even like doing this, it's like I'm gonna go back, be in Texas and then think about this and be like, oh man, that's such a good time. It's gonna inspire me to do something, It's
Didn't think about running when you were younger. You're like, wait,
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, man, it's awesome.
Now, I know we've been going for about 2 hours. Is there anything that you want to like shout out, or I mean, I guess we kind of talked about you got 2 things in the works, not shout those out, but like top of mind for people who are going to leave the conversation, what do you want them to think about or take away?
Man, I just to like take a chance on yourself, really, man. Like that's the best thing you can do, especially in this space. It is like probably the greatest time right now in recent times to be a creator or a builder or something. It's like we're at the beginning of like it's kind of like the internet all over again, like in the late 90s or whatever when the internet was starting to come out. It's like kind of that again, but like with what we're doing. And yeah, man, just fucking like take advantage of the times. Really, that's like the only thing that like the advice I can give.
Do you feel a sense of urgency? I mean, I know you work on a slower time scale, but like taking advantage of the time in the sense.
Yes, to get started. Yes, to like take that first step to decide what you're gonna do. Like, there's an urgency on that. After you figure out what the fuck that is you want to do, like you're doing podcasts, like. Then you can like move at your own pace or whatever, but like take advantage of like how early we still are. We're not gonna be early forever. So I know a lot of people say that like we're still early, but nah, not really. Like it's kind of getting there where to the point where like kind of have to like already be somewhat established on like what you want to do at least to like take.
Yeah, I mean, the earlier you are, the more helpful it's going to be. Like the longer you wait, the more competition and headwinds you're gonna have.
And then besides that, man, just fucking be yourself, bro. Like, just all that trends are come and go, and I think if you're just like yourself, stick to your guns and whatever you want to do. If you're not hurting anybody, if you're just chilling, like, I mean, that's a winning formula, man. So
that's it. Just be yourself. Get out there.
Yeah,
get
man.
a little.
Do something you
urgency.
love, man. Fucking life's too short. Fucking be mad or
Don't spend all your time
complaining.
doing commissions.
Yeah, commissions. I mean, nothing against people that do them.
No,
or if you
gotta
gotta get your bag, man, you gotta go through it. But like, dude, work on your own thing, man. Like, even with like people in like Clonix, I tell them all the time, like, dude, work on your own IP because you never know, like, this shit, any of these things can go to zero, and like, what if it does? Like, you can be fucked. Like, you know what I'm saying? You have all your IP on this one thing, like. You could have had it on your own original shit. So
Yeah.
it's like,
something I should have maybe asked more about, like the artifact creator community, because you've been in that since like the very beginning.
That's one of my favorite things about being part of it. It's like, I think overall, as a whole, that community is like fucking like goated when it comes to like just what they're doing and building with that IP. And it's I went to their event yesterday and it was chill. It was cool seeing everybody there in person. Chris was there. He showed up. He made an appearance. But yeah, man, it's neat to see people that weren't creators become creators just because of they're part of this community now. And like, you know, you could say whatever you want about Artifact and how they handle some stuff, but at the end of the day, they have given all these folks the tools they need to like start getting creative and like become creators and become part of this like future economy that, you know, that's gonna be a regular thing, hopefully, you know, 5 years, you know. So I much props to the whole Clonix community in that sense.
Yeah, and you were around like before Clonix was even a thing. Like you were
I was doing my shit before them.
Working with Artifact, just like, how did you meet them?
Dude,
Twitter?
not even like a fucking crazy story. Zapdio just DM me on Instagram. He's like, I like your work. Like, let's work on something. And then didn't hear back from him for like maybe like a couple weeks.
Nice.
And they're like, hey, we're doing this meta jacket thing. You want to like be part of it? I was like, yeah, sure, fucking like, why not? And then that's just how everything.
It's history. And this is like the jacket. Did you do a hoverboard?
I did a hoverboard. And I think Benito actually reached out for that. And then after that was the little drip character thing.
Then you did like Clonix traits.
And then the Clonix traits, which I gotta give a shout out to Blender Arc. And I still don't know who the other one is that worked on my traits to bring them to life to 3D.
Because you made them.
I designed
illustration.
Yeah, I designed
and
like
then they
concept.
brought it to life for the 3D model.
And then
that's sick.
Yeah, and then shout out to like the Artifact team for that too, because like I was very honest with them. I was like, look, man, I don't know how to do 3D. Like, I can design them, but like, I can't do anything after that. And they're like, don't worry about it. Like, we'll bring them to life. And so that, you know, even just them taking a chance on someone that didn't know how to do that was pretty cool of them. But the traits, I mean, I think there's only like 6 artists that worked on that. And I just so happened to be one of them. I thought there was going to be a lot more when they reached out to me.
You're like, maybe I'll be like in a set of 50. Or...
Yeah, at the least, I thought there's going to be like 20 artists like doing shit. And I come and find out that it's like really like, I think I'm the only one that there was an outsider outside of the teams that they had within the team, like doing traits for them. Like I know, I'm pretty sure Chris did some. Blender Arc and them like did some of them, I believe. Like some of like they were bringing their ideas to life, but as far as like another like outside artist like Murakami, like I'm the only other one, I think, which is pretty fucking
That's
crazy.
really cool.
And I didn't like not a lot of people know that.
No, it's something that I forgot. Like as we were getting, I asked the one question. I'm like, wait, there's like something I should ask about, and then that was something that I feel like is really important in your journey, or something that made me. In my head, it's important to the whole.
Yeah, it definitely is, man. Artifact gave me a great starting point when it came to like growing my audience, like, and that whole Nike thing was I think it was an accident too, because they just so happened to get acquired by Nike, and the shoe was set to release on their old model. I don't even know what they call it.
Like
that was great that they updated it to Nike.
No, but I come to find out that it was Nike that told them, like, no, you need to switch these to Air Force Ones because we don't want this. I think probably they didn't want like a bootleg, like
quality.
And they looked like Air Force Ones too in a lot of ways.
Right, yeah. So it was just another.
It would have been weird, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it was all Nike. They were like, no, if you're gonna do these, like, you gotta update them to Air Force.
And the
Ones.
redesigns came in fire. Like for the people who don't know, like the designs changed for most people between when they were originally doing it with Artifact, and then
I'm so glad they gave us a chance to redo it, bro. Because I look back at it and I was like, bro, that design is so weak.
You're like, wait, I could have did so much better.
When they gave us the chance to redo it, I was like, I'm redoing my shit. Like, it's like, I don't want to say that I became even more like passionate about it, because I was already pretty cool that I was gonna have a shoe, but like,
now you're
gonna have a Nike shoe.
Yeah.
So I was
And
like,
you already knew that there's only gonna be 18 of them.
No, I didn't know we were gonna. I had asked them to keep my pair on the limited side. I didn't know it was gonna be that low.
That limited.
But no, because I think Vision of V,
Okay.
I think there's only like 14. I think there's somebody else that has like way less more than I do.
Gotcha. I think Cleggs might be rare too.
Yeah, I think it's V, Chris, and somebody else might have like less than me, which is crazy.
I keep mine dead stock forever. Like earlier we were talking about wearing your shoes, beating them. Like I have a few pairs that are just dead stock forever, and like that isn't the case.
So what I would suggest you at least put them on, every now and then, every couple months, in your house, and like just kind of step on them to kind of like add some sort of like not where you can like don't walk in them and crease them, but like that would keep them from like crumbling down the line.
Okay.
Because I've had some pairs of shoes where I kept dead stock, and they would just start falling apart. Because
It's like something about if you don't use it, you lose it.
yeah, and yeah, something like that. But I think like the newer pairs are better about it. I just had some bad experiences with old retro pairs like from 2006 that I never wore, and yeah, I took them out the box, and just like holding them like this and like doing this would start rubbing the paint off of them. It's weird. Like, so I don't know. I would just suggest you just like at least like put them on and just like
Just
chill.
take a picture, put them up on my table.
Fit pics.
Yeah, and
toss
then,
them back.
yeah,
on.
and then toss them back on.
I mean, that's about it. I'm scared to really use any, like, I'm a very clumsy person. There's pizza grease on the floor. Like,
I got the pizza grease. I think
Have
we're
you
good.
worn? Because you have others, right?
what other?
Air Forces from that drop.
No,
You only have
yours
mine.
is the only one I have.
What?
Yeah,
Oh shit.
that's what I mean. Like, they're staying dead stock. Like, there was no like, oh, I got like Lupifies and I'll wear it. It's like, I got Zaid's. I'm putting Zaid's in the box, and I'm gonna look at it like a piece of art.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna take it out when friends go over and be like, "This is my friend's shoe," and there's only like 18 of them, and I'm gonna show them to you. They're like these though, where like each one is different, so it's not like the same shoe just mirrored.
Yeah, it was different on all sides.
I think that's I don't know. There's not a lot of shoes like that. Almost every pair of shoe is just mirrored.
Yeah, I was trying to give as much art as possible into the shoe. I just didn't want to make this same.
But you also didn't make it cluttered either. It's still pretty clean. We'll put up the visual on the screen, but it's a clean pair.
Yeah, but now I can do better. Now I know I can do.
What about like I'll give you my 1 of 18, and then you like draw over it like.
Is it like a burn to redeem? Like, you burn the...
Oh my god, no, we're not burning the shoes.
That'd be quite the social media bit if you
could-
burned those shoes and he gave you a new pair of shoes.
You get a one-on-one hand-drawn pair.
Oh my god, no, I'm keeping them. I'm keeping them.
I have my pair. I wear my pair, but I have the sample pair. So I can wear.
Yeah, you keep the samples and
Yeah, and I wear them, and I'm still kind of careful with them. But no, I took them to Paris, and I wore them over there. Fucking.
I mean, it's different when it's like your shoe. Like I feel like you have to wear your shoe, in a way, right? Like I would be wearing my shoe if I was an artist.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I don't like all like the shirts that I've ever dropped, which it's only been like 6 or 7 of them since like 2012. I've never worn. I have them all dead stock, just like in my closet, and I did that on purpose, just because like 10 years from now, I used to say that when I first dropped it. 10 years from now, I want to be able to wear it and it'll still be fresh, and people are gonna be like, "Oh shit, where'd you get that?" And I was like, "Something I dropped like 10 years ago." So I still haven't worn them. So
You're thinking on that long time scale, like just always.
yeah, so I still haven't even worn those, man. So and even back to the streetwear shit, I have shit from like 2013 still in plastic, like Crooks and Castle shirts, like 10 Deep shirts.
Are you just saving them?
I just saved them. And
would you take them out like when you think the right moment?
Yeah,
presents
like a
itself?
good
You'll
experience.
know, like, oh, these people are in town. We're doing this thing. It's like, I'm gonna open up the shirt that's been in plastic.
Yeah,
for
I would
9
do.
years.
I've done that before. Shit, I have a funny. I have a. I think it was like 2011. One of my homies came to New York, and I was like, bro, please go to the Stussy store for me and give me like a shirt from there that has Stussy New York, and they did, and that shirt still has the tag on it till this day. I have never worn it, which I could have put it on and wore it here and like, but it's kind of
But
weird.
didn't feel
Why
like
would
the
I?
right time.
Huh?
Didn't feel like the right time.
No, it didn't feel like the right time because last time I was here, I bought a New York Stussy shirt and I wore that one because
I feel like you'd have to wear that first one with your friend. Like, who got it
that
to you.
yeah, or like wear it somewhere cool like in Japan because then they're gonna be like, oh shit, New York, like like wearing it in New York is kind of like pointless, I think, because like, I'm in here, so like
Yeah, it doesn't have the same special vibe.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm just always been like that, man. I don't know, it's been like collector even as a kid. I've been collecting stuff.
It's a theme we noticed, I think, with some artists this week. They're also big collectors of everything.
When I was little, my mom, I used to have all because my dad would send them from the States, all the Disney movies, in the little special like,
VHS box?
yeah,
Like they
the
came
white
in-
boxes,
yeah.
on the white, and like he would used to send like little toys too of the movie. So it was like the Lion King. I'd have like Lion King like Disney things, and I had like a dresser full of like little figures of like Disney characters, and then I had the movies. Like,
What was your favorite Disney movie?
Probably the Lion King.
Yeah.
Probably
That's the first movie I ever saw when I was like 2 years old or whatever.
Yeah,
But at least my parents have told me that's the first movie I ever saw.
probably the Lion King
Surrender.
or which one too? Is it? I don't even know if it's Disney. The cat movie with all the cats.
Oh,
I used to love that one.
It's
They were like orphan cats or something.
yeah,
And,
yeah.
like, aristocrats.
Yeah, the Aristocats.
Aristocats.
Yeah.
That's Disney.
Yeah,
Is it
that movie
Disney?
was sick.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that
like
was probably one of my favorites too.
I'm trying to think of the one that it was fucking,
Damn, I've loved cats ever since then. Fuck, another breakthrough.
It's like this like homeless dude in New York who looked over a bunch of stray animals and like he got in trouble with someone and like owed them money. It's gonna kill me that I don't know this because it's the fucking one I watched the most. Besides Aladdin.
Almost
Oh,
like
Aladdin
shit.
was a good one, bro.
I loved
Aladdin
the
was
genie.
Aladdin was tight.
And
I really liked A Bug's Life. I like that one a lot.
I feel like I should just we did that not too long ago. We did the Disney Plus. Like, let's go back and watch some. But then like I get so high I fall asleep 30 minutes in. It's like you don't make it through. We are going past the question. I will wrap up the pod, I guess, eventually.
Louis is just dying from
I
allergies over there.
We should just start going into a panic.
Yeah, Texas allergies, man. Oh my god,
You-
bro. You live there long enough, you're eventually gonna be allergic to some shit.
Yeah,
Bro, it fucking
He's
sucks.
like
Die.
allergic to
Yeah.
wrapping it up. That's like me.
yeah. He's just sad the week's over.
Yeah, this is the last pod.
This is my last day in New York. Full
Been
day.
a fucking pleasure, dude.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Likewise. Thanks
It's been
for
nice
having
getting
me.
to just like pick your brain about your childhood and dive into stuff. I haven't asked you too much about your childhood before this.
Nah, man. My childhood is very like it's weird, man, because it's hard to remember stuff from back when you were so young. But I remember a lot of like good times over there, and it's just pretty crazy how like I was brought here, and I had to leave all like everything that I knew behind, all my friends, and just like start all over. Which it was scary, it was fucking scary. But if that had never happened, I probably wouldn't fucking be here, to be honest. So
So everything happens for a reason, man.
Yeah.
yeah.
And you persevered through a whole bunch of shit.
And crazy story real quick. I was actually in the States as a baby but my mom crossed the river illegally with me in her arms. Crazy fucking story. She told me about it. She said she was so scared because once she made it to like the other side, the guy that does it, the coyote, the guy that helps you get across, he was like, "Let me have your baby. I'll help you." And she was just like so terrified that this guy was gonna like
Steal
me or something while she was still trying to like cross over. And yeah, she told me that story, but I don't remember any of that. And I used to live in the States like when I was like 1 or 2, but then for whatever reason, like I guess my dad was like, "No, we're gonna like do it right and get you like my mom and I like a real green card." And so they're like, "You got to go back." And that's when I actually came back again when I was 7 years old. But
it worked out how it should have, I guess. Like,
yeah, it's pretty fucking crazy.
Got the citizenship and like,
yeah.
Nice. Well, dude, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're not stuck there.
Yeah.
It's kind of like crazy how random life is in the sense that like you're kind of just spawned into this map. You're just dropped in and you're like, oh shit, like I'm here.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything to say about it. Like, these are my parents and this is our government.
Whole lot of luck.
Yeah, a whole lot of just to even be born, right? Like you're one out of what millions like could have been you. And then
now we're here maybe collabing with some of our favorite people in the world, fucking in the city that never sleeps.
Yeah, man. It's a trip. My mom's told me crazy stories about when she was younger and like times where she could have like died, and like if she would have died then like wouldn't be here, like type shit. So it's like crazy. But
shout out to the moms.
Shout out to the moms, man. Yeah.
The generation before us and the generations before them have put up with so much shit so that we could be here with all the technology,
cozy
on our phones, in fucking climate controlled areas.
Oh yeah, bro. See, again, like at first I experienced AC. It was like, what the fuck?
It's out of the floor.
I just remember just sitting like laying there, bro. Like all that. It's nice to talk about that stuff because it helps me stay grounded and like stay humble. Because yeah, man, like
gotta remember where you came from.
We came up fucking poor. Like I used to get my fucking toys from like the Salvation Army, bro. Like during Christmas, like I'll never forget the first Christmas in the States. Like, yeah, my folks had to go to the Salvation Army to get Christmas presents for us. It was fucking crazy. But now we're here.
And then you're paying off your parents' house. Like,
yeah.
You're like the age of 30 and you're just like, hey, your house is good. And
yeah,
what
man.
The fuck?
Yeah. Crazy.
But
you are the architect of your life, man. I strongly believe that. So,
yeah, you got to keep the perspective, but then keep going forward.
Right.
Well, thanks for hanging out with us, man. This has been great.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
This was really fun.
To,
it's good to get to know you better.
Whatever debauchery we get in after this, too.